Oh, hello. Welcome back to Fast50. I am here on the couch again, once again. And this time, I'm really excited for this because it's Elden Ring Bingo live in front of thousands in this building. There are thousands of people here. Tevin, hello. How are you?
I'm good. A little drained from the late night shenanigans, but Elden Ring will get me back up.
Speaking of late night shenanigans, we have some late night gamers over on that couch. Hello. Could you reintroduce yourselves? You guys have been on this couch a few times already, but...
I'm Parky. Hi, everyone. I'm a Souls gamer and speedrunner.
What's up? I'm Adef. I was here for OOT earlier, but we're here for Elden Ring.
You do both?
I do both.
Little column A and column B?
Column C as well.
Oh my God, Indica and Sativa. I respect that.
Yeah, well, you got to do both.
You speedrun this as well?
Yeah, I normally do hitless and then rune level 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm the fucking whole ass noob on this couch. I have beat the game twice. One was co-op, the other was Mimic Tier. So
It's enough.
are we bringing Mimic Tier out?
Mimic Tier will not be coming out.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be
Not be
popular.
coming out.
All right. I see that. I would also not do that. We're the same in that way. Okay. Well, maybe just as a short explainer, does someone want to take a stab at like what is bingo?
I can take that.
Take that.
So bingo is actually a staple of the speedrunning community. It's been around as a race type since like 2011, 2012.
What does it start with?
Super Metroid, I believe, was the first game to get bingo on Speedruns Live back in 2011 or 2012.
Oh, wow.
And then I could be wrong there. It's either that or Ocarina of Time was first.
Frozen Encyclopedia.
And then a couple of years ago, Aggie, actually, who will be racing in a moment, got the idea to do it with Elden Ring because it's a big open world game. And basically what bingo is you have a large cache of goals, cool goals that are fun to play, like, beat Radahn, beat Morgott, restore Rykard's Great Rune, get 50,000 runes, whatever. And then from that list of, say, 100 goals, a random card will be generated at the start of the race. It's 5x5 goals. And as you can imagine, bingo, the goal is to mark off squares by completing them. Now, the only difference in what we're about to see from a traditional bingo race where, say, you'd want to complete a line to win, is this is Lockout. So what Lockout means is Chris and Aggie will be playing simultaneously on 2 different games, but on the same board. So if Aggie marks a square, Chris can no longer get that square.
Okay. I've done bingo one time. Admittedly, it was a 3x3, and it was for Infinite Craft. And I was making, I think, micro penis. But it's the same
Very
spirit.
similar.
It's the same spirit.
It's very similar.
This one now, because I've seen Lockout, bingo. Small Ant does a bunch of them for like various Mario games.
Right.
This one's goal oriented.
Yes.
So it's not like collect X. It won't be. It will never be an item. It's not get Bloodhound.
No, there is. There
are some like that.
Certain flasks, X amount of flasks,
Okay.
or
10 talismans.
talismans, jars, stuff like that.
So part of the game of Lockout is like, okay, what do I go for? And then what is my opponent going for?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now,
Yes.
we're all here.
Yeah.
So they're going to know.
So we were hoping, I don't know how much was communicated, but
Yeah.
we definitely do not want to be heard in their
Yeah,
headsets, if
they
at all
wanted
possible.
to talk about muting their
That's
entirely.
possible. Yeah, that's possible.
They do not wanna
I
hear.
think they might.
Like a little noise.
Yeah. They'll have to like keep themselves they'll have to try not to listen.
They're
I
going
think.
to be locked in.
I
They're
think
gonna
if
be
they
locked
turn
in.
their game audio up,
Yeah.
that would probably be
Pure
good.
game immersion.
Yeah.
That'd
Just
be
like the
great.
loudest
Yeah.
fucking game of all time, banging in their heads. All right, well, should be a lot of fun. The estimated time was written down as 90, but I'm assuming it can be like a huge range.
Yeah, it is.
It's just like
depends
what
on the
you get.
board, for sure. I've seen some where if you get like really good synergy across the board, you can just bang these out, and if you're like really on top of it, it can be like 30 minutes. I've also seen things go horribly wrong where it's like, yeah, this is like 90 minutes, 2 hours even sometimes.
Right.
I was talking to Aggie, and he said, I asked like, what was the worst possible thing we could get, and that's activating Morgott's Great Rune, just because of the sheer amount of steps that you have to go through it. You have to actually get to Lane Dale, which requires 2 Great Runes just to
Oh,
get
we
into.
reset. We reset if we see it.
Yeah. Okay. we basically, we just,
Yeah.
Nobody
all
saw it. Chat.
yeah, we don't want to
Keeps
do
it low
that.
key. Okay, and then chat. By the way, I'm seeing some people say it in here. If you're wondering about Qbert versus Stanz's Tesla, it is coming. However, it's going to take a little bit to get Stanz's vehicle ready, cammed up. It'll probably be ready at about, I'd say 6, about 2 hours. So 6 p.m. Pacific, we're going to see it. We have it slated in the schedule. to be able to get all the cam and stuff ready, and then that's what it'll be.
It's worth the wait.
It's worth the wait.
It's worth the wait.
Wait.
You're not going anywhere.
And speaking of worth the wait, while we wait for this game to get pulled up, all the settings figured out, I'm hearing there's some dangerous weather alerts over in the lands in between. Let's go to our weatherman and see how things are going.
Yeah, we do have got some danger. I've got a little bit of a problem here. Hold on. I screwed this whole thing up. Let me just move this. Yeah, all right, so we do have a little bit of weather. I'll get to that in a second, but I do want to update you all on the top 5 leaderboard here for the donations. Logan Ripley still in the lead at 3830. 3,000 from Prison Grip. It's not a lead, by the way, but these are the people that are at the top right now. David Cockrings is still just sitting in the same spot, right here, with his $2,150. Thank you, David Cockrings. Ludwig, 1,500 from Ludwig. Would you look at that?
I lost
and
a bet.
then FT Hatzla?
F that Tesla. F that Tesla.
Fat Tesla?
F that. Like F that.
F that Tesla with $1,250. Very much appreciated. obp.gg/donate is where you go to do this. Now, I do want to talk about a little bit of weather here because we're doing Elden Ring. I have heard some reports. We get the map up here. Heard some reports of showers that are going to be over Limgrave and over Caelid. So your commute here is going to be pretty difficult from Caelid all the way to Limgrave. I recommend you take the teleporter that is down here to avoid all of this situation. Also, we're going to be recommending the Carrion Night set, which is down here for the weather, so the rain can fall off of you. Once you get up to Altus Plateau, you're going to see it's going to clear up a little bit here. By the way, for those of you that have played this game for less than 15 minutes, I apologize, we've shown you the whole world. Just to give you a little bit of an idea, all you need to worry about is this little section right here. And then at about noon today, this is going to be a little bit darker here. It gets dark in Limgrave very, very early. So yeah, there's your weather report. Good luck to the runners, and let's keep it rolling.
Thank you to
Oh my God.
he's
He's a brisk little fellow.
one of the fastest men alive.
Is that true?
It is true. It is true. Retired to become a weatherman. But wow, what a report. What a report.
I really like the effort to put in the Carrion Knight set. Somebody clearly does their research.
Jeremy's quite the Elden Ring fan.
He's nasty with it.
When he's not covering weather, he's crushing through the lands in between.
Him and his little snake buddy. What's that guy's name? Bombo.
What?
You don't know about German Bombo? Jumbo? What's his name?
Are you talking about Stir?
No. Ask German about it.
Bombo Jumbo.
He's got a little snake homie.
Oh, he's got a little snake homie?
Yeah, he's got a little snake buddy.
Bombo Jumbo.
Yeah.
I think we're looking like we're about to jump in. Is there a certain start that they got to do?
So another thing that we haven't really mentioned, and we'll touch on it more when the race starts, but we are playing on a slightly randomized version of the game as well.
What that mean?
So basically, both players are playing on the same seed of this randomizer, but it is really just a weapon randomizer. So the starting loadouts will have random weapons and random armor, and then throughout the world, where there would be a weapon pickup, some other weapon of that same class will be randomized in. So like where you would typically get Lord Sword and Straight Sword, you might get a broadsword or something instead.
And this is for variety's sake. You know, we don't want to run into Unsheath for the 15,000.
Exactly.
Yeah, which it was for a long time, and that's why we did the change.
Yeah, Unsheath is the starting Ash of War for the Samurai class.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it trivializes a lot of the game, and you can get really busted very quickly.
Yeah, a lot of the boss fights are scripted that way. So this way, it's a lot more, improv. See how good the gamers really are.
Right.
So
basically, make it more fun.
Yeah, exactly.
And within this mod, the only other change is that to sort of mix things up and make the race a lot faster and a lot more hardcore, I guess, there are some graces unlocked once you get Torrent that are in late game. So for instance, when the players get Torrent, the grace next to Melania opens immediately. And if there's a Melania square, maybe you rush in there and try Melania right now at rune level 5. So there's a lot of opportunity for really crazy play early.
Elden Ring's interesting because there's obviously a traditional speedrunning community.
Yeah.
And that crescendoed really heavily at the start. Distortion 2, beating the game super fast. But it also has this whole other side. I don't know if you call it speedrunning, but it's It's things like bingo or like hit lists or like challenge. I guess
Challenge
challenges.
runs.
Yeah, challenge
Yeah.
runs. That you don't get in like a lot of other games just because you can't. You can't. It's like it's harder to do it with like Mario 64. What is a challenge run? Unless you like make a ROM hack or some mod of the game.
Yeah.
Which I think it's cool. It adds a lot of replayability to it.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, the sheer amount of build variety, the amount of quests you can do, the ways you can restrict yourself. In this game specifically, I mean, all Souls games are like that, but opening the world, and especially the size of the world, just opens up so much crazy shit you can do.
Bro, I got lost. I saw after my second playthrough, I just got lost watching, like, beating the game only summons, beating the game only
Yeah.
shields, beating the game only. Because a lot of the times it ends up being like maybe just kind of cheese or boring.
Yeah.
But a lot of times like it's very innovative how you have to play.
The craziest one I think I've seen is the Briar's armor set, which is where you roll into somebody to do damage, and it's no more than like 20.
Right.
And they would beat every major boss in the game.
Yeah.
Which like Fire Giant with Briar's armor, Rykard with Briar's armor, in the lava, it's a nightmare.
I know it's too deep when I was watching YouTube shorts of like 1 million knights versus
yeah.
Millennia.
Yeah.
And it's just like the game
You're
crashing.
ring pilled at that point.
Yeah.
Game, not like
just don't try to metagame it.
yeah.
Too deep in it. Oh, hello. Gamers, can you hear us?
Yes.
You can? Production, we don't want them to hear us. Can we resolve that? We are trying to make sure the gamers can't hear anyone.
Yeah, us or each other, because the whole point of this race is that if they know where each other are, that kind of...
We can shit talk each other. a little
Maybe
bit,
maybe they can't even
Okay,
hear
you know.
themselves.
Settle down over there.
Nah, we're fine.
Is that
Maybe we just
possible?
lie. Maybe we just make things up.
Oh, is this the bingo board?
I guess, is that the board we're going to use? Do you guys already have access to that?
Yeah, we've been looking at this board.
Yeah.
Can we get a zoom in on this board
I
real
was like,
quick?
is there a way that we can see it?
Is that
I'm
possible? 'Cause
so
it is-
blind.
It's a board for ants for us.
Great
I'm assuming it
Zoolander
might be
reference.
easier for people at home to see, maybe. Yeah, just think the 5x5s that was hard. Yeah, full screen, it's a little easier to see.
Like turn the game volume way up just to kind of drown everyone else. Oh, can I do that?
Oh, these are choices.
Yeah, do we want to start discussing this?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I feel like I don't
okay.
know.
We
All right,
already
sure.
see the center
Yeah,
square,
Yeah.
which is the.
I just
want
want to make sure none of them are fucked. One looks is kill
they
Moog.
vetted it.
Morgoth's
No.
Great Rune.
No, no,
That's
that's Mogan the
Yeah,
sewer.
okay.
There's
so
Morgoth's
he's-
Great Rune in
That'll-
column 4, row 4.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh, Morgoth's Great Rune. Do we want
Or
to
column
reset?
5, row 4.
Yeah,
Restore
myself
Morgoth's
letter
Great
too,
Rune.
though.
That's the one thing.
yeah.
So does lockout go until there's a clear majority, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this
Yeah, we can't
format
hear that
will
anymore,
not
so
be
that's fine.
line to win. It will be 13 points wins. Now, you can also
gonna
get
blow
2
our ears
points by completing a line. So, like, completing a line is a bonus 2 points.
Oh, okay.
And then first to 13 wins.
So we don't necessarily need to reset it, but is it worth, you think?
We can ask.
I feel like it's probably.
Can they still hear us?
Chris, Aggie, can you guys hear us?
No.
Okay, well, that's
okay,
good.
that's it.
Yeah,
Well,
should
I'll
we
go,
ask?
I'll go
Yeah.
tap him on the
Problem
shoulder.
down.
I'll-
Yeah,
I got it.
Tap him on the shoulder. Somber +9 feels hard. I feel like
Somber
it's
plus
low
9
key.
isn't bad. The biggest thing is that you have all these graces open, so you can get access to all these upgrade materials really quickly. And Somber plus 9 is usually
That's one
Yeah,
of the
it's
easier
fine.
ones,
It's not that
actually.
bad.
it's usually pretty rushable
Yeah.
too, so that you have a good
Yeah.
weapon for later
We'll
bosses
roll.
anyway.
The funny fact about that is that 9 is
Like a
usually
little
one of
bit,
the
but we
easier
can
ones.
Yeah, if
7 and
if
3
it's
are
quiet,
Yeah.
yeah.
stupid to get.
Yeah, there are some
Okay.
good ones.
Yeah, I think we're good.
They're running it as is?
Yeah,
Okay. Cool.
yeah, we'll be fine.
Oh, the Lightning Ram Ash of War is probably my favorite.
That's a funny one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the good
Hey,
story.
you guys
Killing
can,
sheep.
if it's a little hard to see from there, you can pull it on your phone, or you can also maybe see it there.
Oh, yeah, it's right here as well. Parky, can you see
Yeah,
that?
I got some glasses.
You got
on.
some
I
good
can-
eyes, bro.
I was gonna say I'm so blind.
I might need glasses because I can't read those.
Yeah,
words.
you gotta.
That one says kill a tree.
So no astrologer or vagabond is what you're saying?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. So they're making a little gentleman's agreement here. Since the classes have random weapons, some weapons are just flat better than the others, and I guess the two gamers are deciding they're not going to do it. The OP classes.
I can't see what classes to which ones are looking.
Yeah.
It looks
busted.
like Chris is starting Wretch, maybe.
No,
No, Bandit,
Yeah.
and then Aggie's starting Samurai. But obviously the weapons are completely
Yeah.
random.
I'm not too familiar with either of those. Do you know? Native?
There's a sickle on Aggies and maybe an axe and then
Some sort of dagger or something.
2 daggers, I think, on
On
Chris's.
Chris's end. So sometimes you like to look at the board and see. Sometimes we have squares that are kill a remembrance boss with a dagger or claw type of weapon, and then they'll want to start with a weapon like that. I don't see that on the board.
Yeah.
So maybe he just likes it.
So they can't hear us, right?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Or they're great at acting.
I'm already looking at row 4 is extremely like cheesable with the Leonine Misbegotten straight into Colossal Armaments. It goes straight into it. The only thing that kind of messes that up is Morgoth's Great Rune.
Yeah, they're gonna avoid Morgoth's Great Rune, I think. Also, the Putrid Trio isn't the fastest.
Putrid Trio is pretty bad too.
I think so. How we usually start this is you look at what the most rushable squares are, which in this case it looks like
Center square for sure.
Center square, Sleeping Golem. There is a Grace that unlocks.
Board position is really important. Like center square is undeniably the most valuable square on the board because it connects everything. And then corners are good too. So like Smithing Stone 16 sets you up for the run and also is a pretty good position.
Well, I mean Somber 9 too. I
Somber
wonder
9 also
if they
pretty
go
good.
for those.
But I think the boys are ready to go if we feel good on production and stuff. Love,
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, we're good.
You
If
actually
they want
have
to count
a
it down, we're
Mimic
going to
tier
start.
square on here. You have
Okay.
killer
Yeah,
tier
yeah,
consumables
yeah.
only.
I can walk up there and count them down really quick.
Yeah, we're going to run it.
Let's do it.
You ready?
3, 2, 1.
And here we go.
Yeah!
Cool. Okay,
All right, baby.
So yeah, I think what we're gonna see is the middle square with the Sleeping Golem. That looks like currently the fastest one. Oh, gorgeous.
We've got access to the board right here.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's
That's
nice.
fantastic. Yeah, so at the beginning here, both players are just going to immediately die unless Grafted Scion is a goal, which I don't think that it is.
Is there any chance that somebody just makes the read off the grip and is like, I think they're going Sleeping Golem and Langdale. I'm going to pivot. I'm going to set up my other
that happens
situations
pretty
first.
frequently,
Yeah.
actually. There's like a ton of mind games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you also, so we actually just did a huge league, a whole season of bingo racing
Yeah,
amongst
Bingo
a bunch of
Brawlers.
us. Yeah, so Bingo Brawlers run by Captain Domo was fantastic. We just had season 3. I was on a team with Chris, and Aggie was on a team with a player called CBD. Parky did a ton of amazing commentary. And in that season alone, we just learned so much about what the other players like to do. Because
Yes.
players have bias.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Aggie might like this goal more than Chris or whatever. So you kind of read into that a little bit almost. And then you can do the reverse psychology and be like, okay, I know people know I like Sleeping Golem, so I'm going to do something else.
Yeah. There's so much mind games. It's brutal when you're actually playing.
Yeah, one of the crazy sequences I've seen is when I was looking at this is especially when it comes to killing certain types of bosses, like the Tibia Mariners, the Tree Spirits on here, they'll kill like 2, recognize that the other person's like, they probably think I'm going for this.
Yeah.
Stop at 2.
Yeah, and then
Go
they
get
hold
another
it,
one
yeah.
done, and they're like, why didn't they get the Tree Spirits?
Yeah.
I got to go over there.
But then you have the side of that, which is you hold it for too long and you lose the square.
Yeah.
And it's,
There's definitely that sort of like subversive play where you hold on to a goal on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, let's say I go for a goal like you said, Leonine Misbegotten, I then get a Colossal Armament, then they're going to be like, okay, well, I'm not even going to contest Colossal Armament because they already have one.
Yeah.
So you can sort of hold on to goals in like a secondary or almost tertiary way like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like, okay, I want to go do Leonine, but then they're going to know that I have a Colossal Weapon, so do I want to do that and make them think I have a Colossal Weapon? And then, and then there's the Colossal Weapon boss square is on here, and then it's like, I don't know. I'm curious to see what strats are going to do with all that.
We have a good amount of opening time because what a lot of people don't know about Elden Ring is that the early part of it for most challenge runs and just like the game in general is setup. Is that also similar in Bingo, or do they just hit the ground running?
The mod that was introduced for Season 3 of Bingo Brawlers allows for when our players get Torrent right here, they're also going to get access to a bunch of late-game graces.
Okay.
And so those graces open up opportunities to get like Heroes runes, Lords runes.
Okay.
So you can set your character up within 10, sometimes even 5 minutes. which allows the races to sort of pick up the pace really nicely.
Yeah, so you'll see they'll open the map here probably soon, and you can just see immediately how open the map is and where all the races are. I mean, they might not, but you'll see what it looks like compared to when you first start.
This will also be, it looks like Aggie's going to check the Greatsword chest. So this chest typically is just a different Greatsword in the base game, but when Aggie opens it here, if he's not, just kidding, I totally lied. But every weapon drop, like I said, will be randomized with a different weapon in its class.
Okay.
Other than that, though, no other rando other than just the weapons and armor, basically.
Right.
Everything else is the standard game.
So because we do have, I mean, so all the starting weapons are smithing weapons. We do have smithing plus 16 on the board, so I don't know if they're going to do that.
Is there no logo? Do you know, Aggie?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But we do have Somber plus 9 weapon on the board, which is a really, really great square to get early because then, you just melt bosses.
Yeah,
and there
you just
are a lot of
melt it.
bosses on this board. So the issue with that is you have to find a Somber weapon that you like, obviously. So we're going to probably see them doing checks for a Somber weapon here and there. And we do see they're already taking different paths.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris is in...
He's an
It,
Altus.
He's in
it looks like
Altus,
Chris
yeah.
is heading towards the... there is a tunnel here in Altus that has a bunch of somber weapons, and Chris started with 2 stone sword keys, or 3, pardon me, and this cave requires 2. And it looks like Chris is setting up somber plus 9 here, because this cave has a somber 4, 5, and 6. And so this looks like a good opportunity for him to start
Is this
setting
the
up that goal.
cave with the 2 colossal checks?
This cave also has 2
Yeah.
colossal weapon checks.
Yeah.
So this is going to be an opportunity for Chris to maybe get a leg up here on the colossal armaments
Yeah.
only.
Which is a great
And
way.
you're seeing already the amount of game knowledge that is required.
Yeah.
These are 2 of the best bingo players in the world, and it's a real treat to get to watch them play because they just have so much immense game knowledge. Aggie already collecting smithing stones. Looks like maybe taking smithing stone plus 16 instead of somber 9. Oh, okay. Chris picking up falling star beast jaw. Pretty good weapon
wow,
there.
okay.
Yeah, I kicked Ludwig off the couch.
yeah, we see it. Welcome in, Jeremiah.
Jeremiah's here,
Where's
everybody.
Ludwig? Yeah, I stole his seat. This was a really interesting concept to me. I wanted to get a front row seat for it.
It's a
Totally.
blast. It's a blast. And if anybody has any questions at any time, Parky and I are more than happy to answer because bingo is pretty.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
There's a
You
lot
talked
going on.
about colossal checks. Are there certain places in the game where the armament or the weapon is replaced with a weapon of similar size and scale?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So like
Yeah.
colossal armaments are their own weapon type.
Okay.
So like Troll's Hammer, the Troll's Golden Sword, these are all like colossal weapons, and they could all be where Chris found Falling Star Beast Jaw.
Right, so if you go fight Leonine, there will be a colossal weapon drop for sure, but it's not going to be the grafted
The grafted,
greatsword.
gotcha.
Well, I mean, maybe.
I
but-
think for some of them, there's like a small chance it can be the vanilla weapon,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's very rare.
So Chris is over here. This is the Grace near Millennia, but he's obviously not fighting Millennia. He's actually going to go pick up some runes to level up or get his weapon upgraded or whatever he's working on here. But it is for the runes and just for setup.
Yeah, he'll probably pick up the Somber 9 as well as there's a 50k rune drop here. He just has to be a little a little cautious about this putrid Erdtree avatar as it will one-shot him for sure.
Yeah. We do have some scary squares on the board here. We have Kill Estelle and Estelle Stars of Darkness, which is since we have this mod that opens Graces and you don't have to do the whole Ronnie quest and all that, Estelle and Estelle Stars of Darkness square is so fun to watch, in my opinion. It is such a brutal double boss situation, and so I hope they'll contest that one.
So they don't know what any of these things. Do they know what
They
these
see
are?
the- they see
know.
the
Okay,
board.
they see the
Yeah.
board,
So they
Yeah.
can see the board and they are making decisions actively based on it.
Yes.
Yeah, so you don't know what your opponent's doing.
Correct,
But
yeah.
I'm going for the Somber plus
Exactly.
9
Yes,
right now.
yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With the rivalry this strong, it almost seems as if they knew what the other one
Yes,
was going to do.
So that's
Like,
what we were saying. Eggy and Chris have been playing against each other for years, and so they know what they like and they know how each other plays, right?
Yeah.
So it's easy to make choices based on that, but also kind of hard.
Yeah, the sheer dichotomy of like Chris being like, okay, somber, and then Aggie almost instinctively going,
Smithing.
no, regular smithing.
Yeah. Okay.
Finish
so.
a boss with the explosive. Oh my!
Yeah,
That is a
so
great
that
one.
one.
That's
you,
great.
you get the boss down to like 1 health and then pray to God.
Yeah.
And so you'll also see that a lot of these goals require like several steps or like you must do something else. And so looking for, like Tevin was saying earlier, synergy within goals, because there are certain goals that are synergistic with others. And that is obviously good because if you can literally kill 2 birds with 1 stone,
Yeah.
that's a huge win.
So for example, we have here Killer Remembrance Boss Colossal Armament only, and we also have Killer Remembrance boss hitless, and most of the time the big Elden Ring players will try and do squares like that at the same time.
Yeah.
You kill Godrick or something, you do a hitless, you look like a badass, and you get 2 squares at once. So
Yeah.
that's a big play. Stuff like that is very cool to see.
Kill 4 bosses with the word God. in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are
that's a
fun.
great one.
Those are really. There's some really creative squares on here that I really like.
Yeah, this season of Bingo Brawlers introduced some really fun ones.
Yeah.
There's some pretty fast squares on here too. Like Sleeping Golem and Landell is pretty quick. Memory of Grace with 50k runes can be picked up in less than 5 minutes. The problem is you're throwing away 50k in cash.
So let's explain what that is if people don't know.
Yeah, so 50 runes, if you don't know, are sort of your currency in this game. They also allow you to level up. And with our late game graces, we can get a ton of cash early. The problem is you're trying to win in ideally like an hour or an hour and a half, and you need to be as beefed up as possible, as quick as possible. So Memory of Grace means you forfeit 50,000 runes for a square. So you get a square, but you lose a ton of leverage. So squares also have interesting little mind games like that.
Those are often kind of chicken squares. There's some other squares that are dump runes into stats and stuff like that. Stats that you're not going to use. So those are often like chicken, like who's going to do it?
Yeah,
Like
because nobody wants to.
Yeah, no one wants to do those unless you have a weapon that scales with those stats or something. But we don't have that on the board here, so.
Can we talk about what a square on one of these that would look relatively easy, like if thinking about it in a casual way, but actually requires a more difficult, like synergy-wise, like you're giving up a lot to go in this direction.
I'd like to bring up Mimic Tier consumables only.
Oh, yeah.
So Mimic Tier is the boss you fight underground. It's the it's the Mimic Tier. It's the one who's just like you. So what they'll do is take all their clothes off, take all their weapons off, and go into the fight. So that fight, if you do it just regular, you have throwing weapons or whatever, throwing consumables. It's actually really hard to do that because Mimic Tier, especially if you take all your clothes off so he doesn't do much damage to you, he is really agile and he'll do a lot of dodging and all that. So that's actually really, really hard, and you're going to run out of consumables. So they actually do have a cheese, which is the Mimic Tier starts as a puddle, and we have allowed that where if you throw like Holy Paw or something at the puddle, it'll one-shot the puddle, and then the boss will never spawn in.
Right.
So that actually counts for that. But if you did fight it the regular way, it's pretty difficult, I would say.
It also, I think people think of Mimic Tier as such an easy fight,
Yeah.
but even neglecting the fight itself, there's a lot of requirements. You
Yeah.
have to beat Radahn to
Yeah. I was
open
gonna say, do you
access to
still have to beat
Nocron.
Radahn?
Yes,
Yeah,
all that, yeah.
Because there are some things we haven't opened up for free with the Graces. Like, you still need to beat Radahn to get into Nocron. You still need to do, certain things to access certain areas. So it's not like these Graces have completely made the game just go here, beat this boss.
The similar situation with Landell, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so
yeah.
the capital you will need 2 great runes to access. So it, Morgoth's great rune. Oh, and we've had our first square mark,
I
by
was
the
gonna
way.
say, yep.
Somber +9.
Somber
Yeah,
+9.
Chris
So
is
Chris
great.
is in a really great position here. Somber +9 is such a strong, powerful thing to have in a game like this. As I said before, there are so many bosses on this board, and when you have damage, the bosses are so fast. You don't even have to be good at the boss. You can just melt them. So that is a really, really great square to have. And Aggie obviously sees that, and he knows. But I think Aggie will probably get the Smithing Stone +16 eventually and be in kind of a similar position.
I think Aggie's getting the Smithing 6 here behind, right in front of Radahn, because, another thing that we haven't touched on is one thing the mod makes a little nicer is if you'll remember in your casual playthrough, upgrading Smithing Stone weapons is like, okay, I need 1 Smithing one, then 2, then 3. Just to make it a little faster, we've done only 1 of them is required for each level.
Oh, okay.
So +3 is 3 Smithing Stones, +6 is 3 Smithing 2s after that, and so on. So Aggie with only 1 Smithing 16 is going to have enough materials here to get +16 on, it looks like, the Mantis Blade.
Interesting.
Oh,
But yeah,
that's
there it
interesting.
is. Look at those levels. That's nice. Yeah, okay, and they both have maxed out weapons. That's actually really, really great that they both went for those. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, we're going to have 2 very
Yeah.
different builds.
This will
in
be
this,
good. Yeah,
in
this will be
race.
fun to watch.
This actually also highlights the importance of the center square now with the
Yes.
diagonal of Aggie and starting on column 3 for Chris.
Yeah, and I have to imagine the players are seeing that square because, again, center square positioning is so crucial. And that goal with a +16 or a somber +9 is going to be so easy.
Yep.
Typically free space, right?
Completely, yeah. I mean, the Sleeping Golem can do some shenanigans. It's not
Yeah.
the most well-programmed area in the game. But it's generally speaking, at this scaling, it should be free.
So where would you have started? Either one of you.
I think if we played a lot of duos this year, and in duos it's very different. But in solos like this, you have to set up.
I would, I would have started how they started with the weapon.
You just need a weapon. There's just no other way.
So the good thing about having these on the board is you want to set up a weapon anyway, but then you're like, oh my god. Well, sometimes you don't set up a weapon and you just rely on I can just hitless every boss, but that's obviously risky.
Yeah, I got good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I know what to do.
So sometimes you have that like mental like, oh well, is the other guy gonna go no hit all these bosses? Like, should I not be leveling up my weapon? So when they are on the board, you don't really have to worry about that because you're gonna level up your weapon and you're also gonna get a square. So in this case, I think the no-brainer one would have been to grab a weapon.
Yeah, and it looks like Chris is heading down further into Limgrave.
Tibia
Meanwhile,
Mariners.
Tibia Mariners.
Probably. So we have Tibia Mariner on bottom left, and that's kind of south Limgrave, and Chris looks like he might be on his way to there.
Hardest boss in the game.
Yeah, yeah.
And it looks like Aggie's finishing up this tunnel here with the Falling Star Beast. Is there a Falling Star Beast on the card?
I actually don't think so. But he does. This mod might drop the Somberstone Bell.
Oh, the Somberstone Bell.
Yeah, and in the top row we have acquire Somberstone Bell.
Oh yeah, this is one. Yeah.
Yeah, this is one.
And so you'll see also that Aggie applied Rot Grease. I think. I'd have to imagine he did. I can't see
I don't
exactly.
think that he did, but if he had it, he probably would have.
All skill. This boss is like a mid-tier scale, so with his weapon, it should be relatively fine.
Yeah. The only problem is that Falling Star Beast resists slash.
Backwards. The audio is like right, left, wrong.
Oh no. So Jerma, as a more casual fan, you haven't seen a lot of stuff like this, right? How does something like this compare to like the runs that you did?
Well, I don't do any runs.
Your initial run.
Well, yeah, my casual run was, I did it on stream, but a lot more, I would say a lot more screaming. There was a lot more yelling.
Well, we haven't seen, there could be screaming.
That's very true, yeah.
Aggie just got a bad hitbox there. Classic Falling Star Beast.
Yeah, it was a lot of stress, a lot of pain.
Yes,
I would say.
Very classic from software.
But there is joy also.
Yeah.
Yes, it's definitely balanced.
What was your snake buddy's name? Who is that guy?
Mambo.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was trying to tell Ludwig about it. I was like, yeah, you and your snake man.
Yeah, I had the snake friend.
Yeah.
He did a lot of work.
I used to watch, speaking of, we have Kill Moog in the sewers.
That's right.
Elegance Moog was the greatest thing I've ever seen in Elden Ring yet to this day. It's hilarious.
I mean, there's a lot of lead up to
the
Kill
build-up
Moog,
was crazy. They hyped it up.
Yeah, for those who don't know, my chat kept telling me that each boss was Moog.
Okay.
Oh, hey, you're going to get to Moog. That's a Moog-like enemy. So I ended up fighting like 8 different Moogs.
Okay.
I actually feel like I may have made it up, and then they made it up back to me. So we do that.
Just a little reverse gaslighting.
Just a little reverse, reverse gaslighting.
But you got Moog, the real Moog in the end, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
I did Moog. I played through this game so many times, even off stream.
Isn't it just a remarkable game? I mean, like it.
Ludwig was like, "Hey man, do you want to be on the couch?" I was like, "Yeah, I did for fucking Elden Ring. Yeah, get out of the way." Yeah, I love this game.
Yeah,
I think it's a culmination of every single genre.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And I'm so fucking pumped for the DLC. Like, I can't even...
I'm scared of the DLC.
Me too, though, low-key.
Because I have this feeling that because all the From Software DLC has always been
hard.
really hard.
Way hard.
Yeah.
For nothing.
So what is this one going to be like? How incredibly hard.
Aggie described it the other day as, I can't wait to see what Elden Ring is like with the gloves off.
Right, yeah.
Speaking of gloves off, I'm gonna kick the shit out of everything. With the mug.
I'm gonna get to Mesmer, and I'm gonna attempt him once, and then I'm just gonna go. Okay, I'll let the professionals handle it from here.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'll let the pros handle it from here on out.
So Aggie did get the Memory of Grace with 50k plus runes. Nice to have it out of the way. He might be looking at that row 1.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know about the Estelles, but I mean, it is a possible
It's
one
also
have.
good to just threaten a row.
Yeah.
Like, you put pressure on your opponent if you're like, hey, look at this. Look what I got. More marbles. And then they crave marbles and, act accordingly.
Yeah, it does suck when that happens. And so they'll threaten a line and there's like 1 square left that you're like, I know that they're not going to go for that. So maybe I shouldn't worry about it, but maybe they will go for it. I don't know. And then you have to go for it and block off that line.
Just the threat of defense makes you have to adjust
it's brutal.
accordingly.
It's brutal.
Now, the two Black Knife assassins, I know there's one in a dungeon pretty early, right?
Yeah, so there's a couple of Black Knife bosses, but this goal also counts the standing Black Knife enemies. And if you remember in Consecrated Snowfield, there's that Everjail that leads to the Halig tree. Yes. And there are some Black Knife enemies there that our players might choose to kill. It looks like Chris is going for the Sleeping Golem here. Just claiming that center square and is going to be pretty uncontested here. Meanwhile, Aggie going into Radahn.
Aggie, I think looking at Radahn into maybe Mimic Tier eventually,
Yeah, and so Aggie's not summoning, so maybe going for Hitless potentially?
I downed, I did Radahn pre-patch, by the way.
So did I.
I never did. You're better than me.
hey, air high five.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. Pre-patch Radahn.
It was
I don't
not
like to
easy.
brag.
It was not easy, but we got him down.
I will say, I think what happened was they patched it, made him easier, and then actually put him back to normal. So.
Oh, did they? Yeah,
So you're only a chump if you fought him in the middle.
Oh, then I'm straight.
So I think Aggie is going for Hitless here. If he's able to beat Radahn Hitless, that means a square. He's got the Rot Grease, so he's got Rot proc on Radahn here, which is really great, which means he's got a passive damage buildup to sort of help him out here, because his scaling is okay, but not great. But we're going to have to see how Aggie executes this fight here.
Yes, it does suck when you see these gamers who like hitless the entire boss and then get one tiny little poke at the end to just some bullshit hitbox.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, I'm just going to finish off the fight. I'm not going to reset it at this point.
Like that.
You know what? That's called caster curse. Yeah.
Well,
So
this is why we shouldn't mention these things.
yeah, this is why we don't talk about the fight.
The one that always gets me is the rocks into the orbs. If he throws it at like in an opportune time when I'm just trying to set up to be in the correct place for the next hit that I'm setting up, it always catches me.
And he always knows to do the rocks and then the orbs. He's like, oh, this is the moment.
Yeah, and then he jumps after that, and you're like, just throw every fucking thing, why don't you?
Yeah.
I never even fought him off the horse.
Oh, dude, we're actually just gonna have to.
I've only fought him on the horse.
On Torrent.
It's nice that they let you ride the horse
Nice.
during that fight. I will say, very generous. And the arena's quite big, actually. FromSoft is known for bad arenas. So.
It was a lot of hit and then run across the entire
yeah.
map to get away.
Classic.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Until I'm ready.
Yeah.
Radahn's a beast, like in lore, in the game.
Yeah. You know who else is a beast? Margit, who I know is the #1 noob killer of all of FromSoft, probably.
But at
This
Somber
is
plus
cathartic.
9,
Yeah,
at,
this
at
is
Somber
cathartic.
plus
I mean,
9,
Chris is
it's-
also not a noob. It's like, he'll be fine, yeah.
So Chris is definitely heading into Godrick here.
I think he's also looking at maybe tree spirits eventually. There is a tree spirit in this castle.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so it'd be really great for Aggie if he gets this hit list.
Yeah, this would be... So basically our players are racing for this goal right now.
Yeah.
And summoning the boys here, as we like to call them in Radahn's fight, this is fine for hitless so long as Aggie doesn't get hit.
Yeah, it is kind of hard with summons. As much as summons make things easier, if you know the fight and you know how to like dance with him, it makes it harder to have summons because, you know, Radahn will change who he's locked onto, and then it messes you up. But, you know, it looks like Aggie's doing just fine.
We're going to
here.
get phase 2 here.
It's also nice to have Okina for the chance of a bleed.
Yeah, totally.
So fun fact, Radahn flies in from where your camera is facing in phase 2. So Aggie's going to face it away from the Grace so that when Radahn dies, he will be ideally closer to the Grace, saving those precious, precious seconds.
Oh, yeah.
We had $100 come in from I Am Not a Terroriz, and it said, watch dozens of hours of Aggie's no-hit randomizer attempts and Chris's 10 times enemies challenge run. One of the most impressive things I've seen. Very excited to see them at an event like this.
Those are probably gamers. 2 of the most impressive challenge runs I've ever seen.
Yeah. I think, I mean, definitely some of the best Elden Ring players in the world.
Okay, it's just Aggie here. The boys are gone.
I'm scared to even talk about
No
this
more
fight.
boys.
It's going to be a little safe.
I was gonna say, he could do a really nice move, or he's about to be an asshole.
Okay, so Aggie's going to do a dismount here, maybe. No, just running away.
Might
dismount here, potentially. Jump over.
Gonna play it safe. Hopefully. Ooh!
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go. That's so scary. Aggie knows.
Even he knew it. He was like, I do that. I do that.
Yeah, dude.
That's actually a big square for him.
If I had a heart rate monitor, I mean, I'm not even playing.
Yeah, just saying.
Like 200.
So Chris is heading into the Godrick fight. He saw that he can't get that hitless square anymore, which, I mean, it sucks, but also you don't have to play it hitless, which is kind of nice.
I mean, but if Aggie had died, I think he would definitely lose the square because Falling
Yeah.
Star Beast Jaw is going to make quick work of Godrick here.
Yeah.
Much easier boss.
That move there when he did the Ashen
Wow.
War, a lot of times it causes Godrick to do that spinning motion.
Yeah.
And if you're close enough to him, he'll actually just go straight into the animation where he rolls and then jumps.
Yeah.
You can actually just walk forward and he'll just go behind you and smack the hell out of him.
Yeah, that's the one that you want to get. Sometimes he does the other one, depending on how far you are. And
Yeah,
then
the
that
projectiles
sucks.
is so ass.
Yeah.
And so Godrick has the best music in the game.
Oh,
You think
like
so?
the
That's a
Godrick
hot
music?
take.
And that's not even an opinion.
That's just not a hot take.
I like
That's just a
Moog. I
fact.
think Moog's music is my favorite.
I think I'm a Fortisax fan.
Yeah, there you
Okay.
go.
Okay.
Now we're
Fortisax
talking.
enjoyer.
Okay.
And also, that was hitless for Chris, which means clutching that square was huge for Aggie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are we looking at here?
I think
Aggie's-
Aggie's still pushing Somber Stone,
Yeah.
Bell Bearings. And then Chris is going to get Colossal Armaments only here. He just has to wait for... Or is Falling Star Beast Jaw Colossal?
I think
It would have to be.
I
right?
think it is. I don't know why. Maybe it's not. I guess, but didn't you pick that up at a colossal check?
I thought so. I could be way off base, but I'm curious why he hasn't marked.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just
Maybe
he's just thinking about it.
Well, so in the league, actually, there's penalties for not marking because obviously you can like hold things and mess around.
Oh God, are we the refs? Oh, that's no good. Oh, that's no. We're not good at that. We're not
Well,
good
yeah,
at
there's
that.
no rules here. So
There's no
it's-
rules.
like, I
just
guess
here
in
for
this case,
fun.
if Chris doesn't mark, that's like, let's say that is a colossal weapon. If he doesn't mark the square, I mean, he's just gonna lose the square.
Yeah.
So it's fine, I guess. But
I'll Google it.
yeah, okay.
I'll Google it.
I mean, as much as me and Adif and everyone knows about Elden Ring, like, there's always so much that you don't know.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Like, I'm
it's-
sorry, I don't know the Falling Star Beast Jaw weapon class.
There's
I love
infinite
talking
information.
to like every Elden Ring player, and you're like, how many side quests have you done? He's like, I haven't even touched like half the shit you guys know about.
It is Colossal.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So he's forfeit the square by not marking it.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. I don't know.
Because you can't hold on to squares.
Yeah, that kind of sucks for
Do
him.
we do we mention it? I feel like it would be remiss to not be like,
so
hey dog.
in the league, it's players' responsibility to mark because it's part of the bingo. Because oftentimes you'll be on the same square as someone, and it literally comes down to who marks faster. So that's why the players are responsible for their own squares. So I mean, I don't know, for the sake of the competition.
I
maybe
can
we should-
tell. I mean, typically the ref would go into voice call and tell them.
and tell them he's forfeited it.
Yeah.
Where's Ludwig? We need to just, hey,
Well,
what do you want us to do?
Let me consult the Bingo Brawlers rule set and just be crystal clear on
Maybe
my
we should just leave
decision-making
it.
here.
Maybe we should just leave it. And I think that Chris, if he sees that eventually, I don't think he'll mark it because
I feel like
Yeah,
we're
he'll
gonna-
know.
like we witnessed a car crash. And we're like, what do we? What do we say? What do we do now?
It's very uncharacteristic, I will say, for Chris to miss a mark here.
it doesn't. I mean, nerves, whatever. It doesn't matter. But
It looks like he's going after Godskin Noble.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we do have this Godskin Noble square without status effects. So this is a great square for when you have a bleeding weapon, or actually what the meta used to be is to have sleep pots,
Yeah,
and you
sleep
throw
pots.
the sleep pots at Godskin Noble. He like falls asleep. You can get him dead before he even wakes up. So just to make the fight harder, they've added that square. So you have to fight him just with damage, physical damage, nothing else.
If a player forgets to mark a square within 60 seconds, they will be notified by the umpire that they can no longer mark that square and are locked out of it for the match.
Okay, I mean, is this sweaty like that? I don't know.
I don't
This
know.
is-
How sweaty you want to get?
This is super casual.
All right, well, then
maybe
we'll leave it.
Maybe
He'll know.
kill Estelle and be like, this is
Yeah, that's that. I mean, that's sure. Yeah, maybe he'll do another boss with Colossal Weapon.
Chat, donate $50,000 and you get to choose. That's the
We're pretty laissez-faire here.
yeah. This is all in good fun. It's all for charity.
Yeah, I think we should just leave it.
And I
Chris
think
will put it
honestly,
there.
if Chris saw the square, he would know.
Yeah. All right, is Aggie? This is the
This
the
is the
duo.
two,
Okay,
yeah.
so this
Yeah.
is the other Somber Stone.
Yeah, this drops
Yeah.
the Somber Stone Bell Bearing 1.
So
Yeah.
Aggie's putting a lot of pressure on these corner squares. It's gonna make bingos very difficult across the board, and also kind of pressures Chris to either stay on the insides or like commit to playing defense in the later parts of the
Yeah,
game.
Chris is trying to block
Chris will be
column
blocking.
5 here.
Yeah, he'll be blocking column 5 in a second. Also, we have Morgoth's Great Rune, and usually, like not always, but very often, when you see Morgoth's Great Rune, you're gonna assume that you don't really need to worry about it,
Yeah.
unless you have reason to worry about it. Like clues that it's going to be in play. But for now, you see Morgoth's Great Rune and you're like, okay, I don't really have to worry about that for now.
Another big thing is this also blocks what I assume Chris might be going for is the killing 4 bosses with God in it at the same time.
Yeah, so Rykard
true.
also counts because the second phase of Rykard is God Devouring Serpent.
Oh, it counts the second phase. Oh, interesting.
And you know who else? I don't know if they might. Maybe they would do it just because we're here. But Millennia also has the word Goss in it.
Yeah.
She is goddess of Rot.
Yeah.
So doing Millennia and Rykard as a god boss is usually a very power play.
I mean, at this point, Chris might have to do it to get that colossal armament.
There are a lot of. Yeah, I guess you're right. He could Millennia with colossal weapons actually quite nice in my opinion.
So there's the block from Chris. So column 5 is no longer viable for Aggie to get a bingo, but it looks like Aggie was already doing row 1 instead anyway.
Yeah.
It's so crazy that the different, like, you guys talk about like colossal weapons and all these different things and these deep level. There's like 30% people have not even seen Margit's health bar. Right? If you look at like the PS trophies, the PS5 trophies, the PS4 trophies, there's such a huge dynamic of like, oh, actually, I haven't even been to the first Grace yet. And there's like all this knowledge that people have on the other end of the spectrum. It's a wild game.
Yeah, it's very cool. And I mean, I guess we hope that with stuff like this, people can see it. And instead of being overwhelmed, they would instead think, wow, this looks very cool.
I think something that I want to get across that I've heard a lot of feedback from a lot of speedrunning events where like people watching, they're like, man, this feels impossible. Like, these players are so good. And, like, we all started somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, we were all dog shit at Elden Ring when the game came out. So, like, if you're seeing what you're watching today and you're like, man, I wish I were that good, you absolutely can be.
You can be.
Just play the game and, if you're having fun, keep having fun.
Yeah, I mean, definitely just play the game. These guys have thousands and thousands of hours. Adif and I have thousands of, hundreds at least.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I don't know that I'm going to put myself in the thousands tier.
Yeah, but, and plus, if you're a Souls player, like, being good at other Souls games gives you so much experience.
Yeah, it's transferable.
And you can read boss moves a lot easier and stuff. So it just comes with experience. I mean, some people are talented, of course, but, hard work also matters a little bit.
Yeah, these Souls-like games, the From Software games, these are my favorite games ever made.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm dog shit at a lot of these. Well, relatively speaking. Relatively speaking.
Okay, I just like to point out Soldier of Godrick here. I don't know if you guys saw it. Chris breathed on him and he died. But that did count.
That's actually
for the
one of the
boss.
hardest bosses in the game. That is like one of the strongest characters.
I mean, his name literally contains the word God.
Yeah, Soldier of God.
But they're just fun. They're just fun to play.
Fun.
They're
never got into them. Yeah.
And the feeling of relief, it's like euphoric when you beat a hard boss.
Oh, yeah.
Like after beating Millennia, I fought her for 24 hours, and it was just like I couldn't breathe.
Was that
after.
also pre-patch?
Yeah, it was all early. And I like to just like classic Souls gamer, like I was like, you know what, I'm going to beat her.
Yeah, I'm not moving.
I was on level 84 and people are like, you can't beat her unless you're level 140. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to beat her right now.
Yeah, I'm not leaving here now.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're on stream, it's personal.
Yeah,
when somebody's like, you're not capable of this, I'm like, well, actually, I fucking am.
Yeah. And then someone's like, oh, yeah, I was fighting her with daggers, and people are like, you should probably use this, And I'm like, you know what? I'm not using any of that now.
Yeah, I can't lie. There definitely was a couple of mirror moments before I streamed Elden Ring and going to Millennia and just being like, looking in the mirror, being like, "You're gonna do it. You can do this. I know you can do it.
Yeah.
You beat Sekiro on stream. You can do this."
Yeah.
And then I died to her for like 5 straight hours.
Yeah. You know what though? Like I feel like Souls games, it might be cheesy, but I feel like it's taught me so much about like patience and perseverance and like whatever. I mean, more than just a game for sure.
So Aggie is setting up explosive physic here. This Erdtree avatar drops that explosive physic tier. Yeah. Meanwhile, Chris is heading into his 3rd god boss. He killed Godskin Noble and Soldier of Godrick.
and Godrick.
Oh, he did Godrick.
Yeah.
So this is his 4th god boss.
So this is him blocking off row 1, actually, which is great. And Aggie, no, you know what? I was going to say Aggie doesn't know that Chris is doing this, but Aggie sees that Godskin Noble, so Aggie knows that Chris is about to get that square, I would say. Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the lightning ram Ash of War. I'm kind of so over this.
It's
I want them to start spinning.
yeah.
It's my favorite square too.
I need
love
some
that
spin
square.
dashes.
It's actually so funny, that square. If you don't know, there's this Ash of War that turns you into the lightning ram, and you like lightning and roll into them, and so it's to kill 10 sheep. And you see these gamers, they're like no-hitting Millennia, doing like low-level Radahns, da-da-da-da-da, and then you see them do that lightning Ash.
And they're like, get over here.
Yeah. Then you
Stop
see them
running
roll
away.
into the sheep, and the sheep are rolling
they
away.
hate you.
Yeah.
I've had hitless runs just ruined because I was, talking to Bach or something, and they decided, hey,
Yeah.
fuck this, I'm gonna roll into you.
Yeah.
There's also the classic, like, was that 9 sheep or 8?
Yeah. And then you're like, okay, I'll just kill an extra one.
Yeah, I'll just kill one more. It's fine.
So yeah, here's Chris fighting Rykard with the Serpent Hunter weapon, which, it's a great one against this boss.
This is my favorite version of the Dark Souls gimmick
Me
boss.
too, I think me
I think
too.
Rykard has done so well.
Yeah, it's such an extravagant fight. It's so beautiful.
That's a great way to describe
Yeah,
it.
compared to like Yorm, because people like to
Yeah.
parallel this to Yorm a lot in Dark Souls 3, and Yorm is just like a big guy who kind of.
And also, like, when you die to Rykard, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
You don't see the skulls as an inconvenience.
Well, you know what? You should look at how they handle it, because the way the strat is with this weapon is that
The weapon art.
the weapon, like if you see the move that he's about to do that summons the skulls, you'll cancel it every single time.
Because the weapon
Okay,
art
everybody
staggers.
pay attention.
Yeah,
to
so
this.
ideally you never want to see the skulls. I mean, obviously if you're playing casually, you don't know that. The skulls do suck.
That
Couldn't
is-
you get him stuck in an animation? If you
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
So you'll see he does this thing where he raises his leg and slams it down.
That's like his phase 2.5.
That's the scary move, and you want to block. You want to charge attack or L2 or whatever it is.
It'll probably be after this move. This will be enough damage that he'll start going for the phase transition, maybe after this sword swing.
Yeah.
And so then Chris will just use weapon arts basically from there for a while, because the weapon art full staggers him out of that animation
Yep.
every time.
Yeah, and then you can do like the baby staggers or whatever, and then you can probably get him down.
Yeah, so here it is.
Yeah, there's the leg up.
So he's going to charge his L2.
Yeah.
Cancel it, then maybe go for the L2 follow-up. Doesn't look like it. Since it's a full stagger, Chris is just going to go for these jump R2s.
Too bad this weapon didn't do this for the rest of the game.
I know.
No.
Yeah.
Just have a laser to
That
kill
was-
everybody.
There it is.
Across the whole map.
And we got Aggie here on the Tibia Mariners as well. But yeah, there's the 4 God Bosses square. Nicely done, Chris.
So far, we're neck and neck.
Yeah.
4-4.
It's a great game. What would you guys like to see, Jerma? What are you interested in on the board here?
Oh, there's the physic as well. That's the explosive physic
Oh,
there.
yeah, that's
Aggie
nice.
blew
Oh.
himself up.
Cool. Just got it. I honestly, the learn 12 sorceries to me, is that just you just get a bunch of runes and just go buy
Yes.
a bunch?
Yeah.
Just like
Exactly.
du-du-du-du-du-du.
So that's another money dump square. So you like all the money dump squares, you're like, oh, I don't really want to do this unless you. There sometimes is kill a boss with sorceries only or stuff like that. But in this case, it's just kind of a useless square. So you might avoid those and.
There's a little bit of synergy with 12 Sorks because, like, there are a few of them throughout the world just lying about. And so if you have a square that goes past one of those, you can pick one up for free. Or, like, there are bosses that
Forgot to
drop
mark
them.
This.
Yeah. No, do we want to?
No, I don't.
It's
I don't think
fine.
it's fun. I don't know. That's like.
Chris, can you hear me?
He's over here lying to me.
Nope.
Yeah,
All right.
see. It's like kind of a tough call to make.
I'm gonna let
because
them. I'm gonna let.
Oh, they figured it out.
They figured it out, but it
Okay.
sucks because like Aggie's entire game plan will change based on if Chris has that square or not, which
Right.
is why it's so important. If people might be watching and being like, "Oh no, they're so stingy about this," but it really does change the opponent's game plan. And see, Aggie thought Chris was working on something else, and then Aggie's like, "Wait, how did he do Colossal? He was just lying to me," which he was a little bit, yeah.
He did tell him he forgot to mark it.
It was like
And yeah.
He doesn't know that
30
how
seconds after you
crazy
did
he
hitless.
just went with Falling Star
Yeah.
Beast Jaw.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh wait,
Rykard.
they're talking about it right now. Chris said it was 30 seconds after you did hitless. So yeah, they know it was like 15, 20 minutes ago. I don't know. It's up to them.
I think.
I don't want to intrude on their thing.
Yeah, we'll let them go.
This is not a tournament match. I'm
Yeah.
not. It's all for charity.
We're looking right now live at Aggie's seething rage.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just not
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
anything.
exactly.
God
Dude, this
damn
is
it.
classic
God
Aggie. It's
damn
like
it.
he always. That's like so notorious. Everyone always like Aggie. You don't know how he's feeling. Like he's just like always looks kind of like this.
Stone face
Yeah.
killer.
Yeah.
So the kill a remembrance boss bow only.
Yeah.
Is it? I'm trying to think. Is there Is there a boss where you can kind of stand back and just like a dragon, just shoot 1,000
Godrick, you usually
times?
want to do bow only.
Okay.
So here's another thing with Elden Ring Bingo is you look at all those squares, and sometimes when you have kill a boss, colossal only, kill a boss, sorcery only, kill a boss, remembrance boss only, you have to like consider who's the easiest for which. And so Chris has already killed Godrick, and usually for bow only, you want to do Godrick like usually every single time. I don't really see why you wouldn't want to do him. And Chris has basically forfeited that square now because unless you have like a really, really strong bow, that's a hard square to pull off for someone else. So yeah, typically Godrick, you can do it for others, but it's a lot harder. So I would say Chris has probably forfeited that square now.
Yeah, it's really only ever
Yeah.
going to be Godrick
Yeah.
for Remembrance Boss Bow only.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure sometimes you can level up a really strong bow, but I don't really
Yeah,
see
'cause
that
it's so
very
much
often.
investment, like to
Yeah.
get the smithing stones and the
Yeah.
runes. Whereas like Godrick, you can, if you have enough arrows, all of the players, that are doing bingo should be able to do Godrick.
Yeah.
Pretty hitless there.
And
with
there
the
is
bow.
a difference between bow and great bow. Like it would signify. The
No,
difference.
those are
yeah.
those
Oh,
are
they're the
fine.
same?
Yeah.
Okay.
But usually the issue is like just running out of arrows.
Yeah.
And not having enough damage if you don't level up your bow. So like there's like a jump shot you can do that's really good. But I mean Godrick especially, he's got that spinning like tornado move, and then the arrows will jump
Deflect.
off of that. Yeah. And so stuff like that kind of sucks.
Is there a way to block and there's no win? There's no bingo? And
Well,
it
it's
has a new-
majority. After
Majority.
that.
So it's a majority.
Oh, yeah. So the bingo line is we're playing a rule set today where bingo line is 2 extra points rather than a win.
I see, okay.
So whoever gets 13 points first wins. So currently, Aggie is sitting on 5 points, and Chris is also sitting on 5 points.
I see. Cool.
So this is where I would get real freaky with the plan and just rush row 4 and not think.
Yeah.
Just,
I mean,
like no one would ever consider the fact that you're going for something so long.
yeah, so sometimes the strat can really be like just be crazy enough and
Yeah.
do something that is a stupid idea, but it will work because it's so dumb and the
Yeah.
other person won't, guess.
They're
for
playing
you to
such
do
a
that.
long game and
Yeah.
you're just going one
Yeah.
idea.
There are some people who play like that who are just kind of like throw darts on a board and see what lands,
Yeah.
and then you can't predict what they're doing, and you're like, oh my god,
Yeah.
this sucks.
How can you predict my moves if I can't?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could pick random cubes.
Yeah, there
you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go kill Mog, and then
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna go get the Tibia Mariners.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
where are you going?
Write a Python script to choose your goals for you, just at complete random.
So here we have Chris, who's looking at that Thops Academy key, which is, the guy Thops. He's like over there, and he's like, oh no, my key, I can't. No.
That's
So
exactly what he's like.
yeah, so
That's exactly what he's literally. That was perfect.
And Chris is gonna go grab this key, and I think he's gonna return it to Thops. And Thops also sells sorceries, so Chris will probably be eyeing that square as well.
The only thing about Thops is that and this is annoyingly, like, actually, he has 3 sorceries, but Selen
Yeah.
also carries 2 of the same.
Yeah.
And so you got to be kind of careful with which ones you buy from Thops because you might waste some money. Because Selen, who you have to go for 12 sorceries, I mean, she ends up stocking like 10 by the time you get some scrolls. So being considerate of like, okay, which ones am I buying might matter, but also at this point, money is not going to be a huge issue for our players at this point. They're beating a lot of bosses back to
Yeah.
back, so it really should not be a problem.
Yeah, he might grab the Grace and then go check Selen and then come back and return Thops' key. I hate Thops. I usually call it Tops, but then Domo says Thops. And
Apparently,
it confuses
in game,
me.
his name is like Thops.
Okay,
like,
great.
Some NPC says it out loud at one point.
Listen,
no.
after you give him the key, nothing matters anyway.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
He's gone.
You often kill him for a
staff.
staff
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
No, he gives you that sick move, the one where you just go like, whoop. He gives you like the bubble move, doesn't he?
In vanilla, maybe.
Yeah, so unfortunately, with the weapon randomizer, what spells you get from where are also random.
Yeah.
So, Tops is like the bubble shield or whatever. Yeah.
By the way, I don't even know if that move works. I've tried to use it. I don't even think it works.
You just said it was really good, though.
Yeah, I was just making it up.
Oh, okay.
Did you make sure you had the proper stats?
It's like a parry, right? It's like isn't it like a
He does have a parry, yeah.
I'm not familiar with sorceries.
yeah? It's like a boom. It's like a big like sphere that goes like boop.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can we get one more on those boops?
Let me try it one more time.
That one actually
now I
slapped.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The echo was I didn't sell the
Okay,
echo.
and you know what? Now we have, and we know what you're talking about.
Maybe he'll sell it. Maybe we'll see.
This
We'll
might even
see.
be from a fucking different game. Is this like Dark Souls 2? Like,
Yeah. I don't actually know what they're on their way to do now. Chris
Chris is definitely returning the key.
Yeah. And we got Aggie in a dark. No, Aggie's doing the trio.
Yeah, Aggie's doing Rock Crystallian Trio.
Which this boss sucks.
This is one of my least favorite boss fights in the game, especially low vigor, because these bosses, I mean, once you get rot procced, it's over.
Yeah, so they rot you, and if you played this game on release, they were actually brutal. It was very like Dark Souls 2 gang fight, but actually they just obliterated it. Now 2 of them just like don't have a brain while one of them fights you.
Yeah, they patched the trio and duo fights were massively nerfed.
Yeah,
They're in the background hitting like TikTok dances while they're
yeah.
smacking their homie.
Yeah, so we'll see that. Yeah, here's Chris with Thops. I wonder if, isn't it the same spot every time? Like the third sorcery is the one that is different?
Probably. You're probably right about that.
I think that's what it is, which is why I think that Chris isn't too scared of this.
I'm looking at Jerma to see his excitement on.
Do we have it? I don't know. Jerma, that's all you.
Is that
Okay,
right
there was Comet Shard, or maybe Comet, and then I didn't know the other 2. And yeah, Chris
there
bought
was
the
a
third
circular
slot.
thing, actually, if that was that.
We're going to just say, oh, Chris keeps giving us opportunities to look at it.
He's too fast.
All right, and there's the key for him.
So yeah, the goal here for Aggie is do not get hit. Like, I know that's literally the goal of the game, but like, against this particular boss especially.
And after their stance breaks, the fight becomes much easier.
Totally, yeah.
Can you guys real quick talk about the difference between like stance and poise? I know a lot of people get confused. Like poise is what makes them flinch initially versus stance being like what knocks them down.
So poise is the one that knocks them down. Every enemy has a hidden poise value and a hidden poise timer. So like if you imagine when the player is getting poisoned, the bar starts to go up, but then it slowly goes down when you get out of the swamp.
Yeah.
You can think of poise like that. So if I do a charge R2 against this Crystallian, if it has a poise value of, say, 70 or something, and I do 30 poise, I have like 5 seconds to do another hit, or the poise will go back up to 70. So it's like a mini health bar I'm reducing, trying to do it quickly to stagger them. The Crystallians are a bad example because they're like the only boss in the game where the poise meter never goes back up to make this boss a little better since they have crazy armor. Yeah. But yeah, so there is... An enemy will have a value, the stance like you're talking about, where like if you hit them, they flinch. Okay. But poise is about getting knocked over, and once you break their armor, they get staggered by almost everything.
Yeah, that's like the posture meter in Sekiro. If you've played Sekiro, similar.
Yeah, these enemies also have some of the best, I guess, sound effects. I'm the sound effects guy.
Yeah.
When you hit them, you mean?
When they're trying to get you with I think he's got like a spear.
Yeah.
You just
This is just gonna turn into like an onomatopoeia casting.
Jerma's favorite sounds.
Yeah.
Jerma's favorite sound effects. Welcome everybody.
Do you have a favorite sound effect in the game? Do you think you could
probably that one?
Yeah.
I like when you hit them. It's so it's so satisfying.
I like when you go into the Capitol for the first time and they blow the horn. It's like.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Some pipes, like what the?
Oh my god, look at that weapon. Chris is like, you don't even have to do anything. You just use that Ashavor.
And that's one of the Black Knife assassins.
Yeah,
disgusting.
so that's one down.
Yeah.
There are times in between, like, I don't know how to explain this, but a lot of these tiles or squares line up synergistically, and then once you kind of complete them, there's sort of like a reset where you're like, my next big thing.
Yeah.
And there's like a lot of strategy to even that, where you can knock off a lot of easier ones or set yourself up to get a lot of them in a row.
Yeah.
The Black Knife Assassin one is pretty interesting because like Lean on Misbegun's right there. Like it's in Weeping Peninsula. It's not that hard to get to.
Yeah.
But you can see themselves setting things up to do later things. It's always really interesting.
You know what? It looks like Aggie is going to Ordina.
I think he's going to do the 2 Black Knife Assassins here and snipe Chris on this.
Yeah, so there is in Ordina, as Adolf mentioned, there's like a little cheese that you can like manipulate the AI of the invisible Black Knife Assassins. If you've done this, you know how much that one sucks casually, but you can kind of bait them to jump off of the cliff.
Yep.
So Aggie might actually, if he successfully does it, please no caster curse, he might grab that one from Chris. But I mean, it wasn't a too big of an investment of time for Chris because of that weapon.
No.
Yeah.
But, you know, a snipe is a snipe.
And Chris picking up the Conspectus Scroll here, that's going to allow him to unlock more sorceries from Selen. So Chris is definitely posturing the 12 sorceries here.
Yep.
This is a close race.
Yeah.
What I like about this race, and I mean, all the races are interesting for different reasons, but I do kind of like races like this where they're like basically 100% doing opposite things, and so they're kind of like you see them doing their own thing, and there's not too much like sniping going on. However, it is fun to watch a game where there are snipes, but like it's very hard not to get frustrated as a player when there are games where you literally have the exact same plan and you just keep getting sniped
It
and sniped
sucks.
and sniped.
The snowballing is
the
like
steamroll effect after that is because you have to pivot. Not only that, but you have to work twice as hard faster.
The worst thing is when they snipe you and then you're like, all right, they're never going to do this square next. And then they do that one too and you're like, God fucking damn it.
Just watch on Aggi's screen here. You'll see the footsteps probably, and if we had sound, I'm not sure if we do a little bit, you'll hear them.
I think the first one might have just lunged. So he's luring the invisible assassins over the ledge and he's trying to bait them to do a like dash attack off the ledge, which will force them into the abyss, which counts as a kill.
Right, it looks dumb as hell, but you can't see the five assassins because you don't have the sentry.
You see their.
Okay, so that's one. That's one. He needs another.
Worst area in the whole game, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of
the
these
archers
either.
after this.
Dude, the Ordinia archers are like laser beams.
Yeah.
They no good.
Brutal. So he's got the second one here.
And it's nice you can see their footsteps in the snow, so he knows generally where he is.
And Chris is actually in another black knife thing right now, so he will probably get sniped on this square. I mean, it looks like
she's getting freaky.
Is it a scenario where you just kind of turn and see that it's been filled, and you're like, oh shit?
Well, yeah. There's a lot of times where like you literally you go to click the square, and then the other opponent clicks it, and you're just like, what the hell just happened?
I have been sniped by less than a second before.
Yeah.
Which is like there's no, but you also like you kind of have to respect it. Like, when it's that.
It's
close.
like, you saw what I was doing.
Yeah.
There's Aggie God, and you see Chris is like, oh.
Yeah.
It's like you click it and it's the other color, and you're like, wait, something's wrong.
Something's incorrect here.
I was blue.
We also
for
the last season, the program we were using to track the squares, you could put sound effects in, and Chris and I, to try to lighten up the mood when we got sniped, when the opponent selected a square, it would do the vine boom sound effect, so that we would just not be so mad, because like you can't be mad when it's like. And then if they got a line, it would be the like metal pipe drop.
Oh yeah.
Just so that add a little brevity.
We need an audio pack of like Germa just doing sound effects in the game.
Sound effects. You need a pipe drop.
Yeah.
Damn.
Did you peek in my mic? I didn't hear
anything.
That was that was a decibel, and it was a certain frequency that was so loud and so high pitched. You didn't hear.
You
it
have
at
to be
all.
under the age of 12 to be able to hear
18 dogs just walked in here mad as
You know
hell.
when you scream and you'll yell really loud on Discord, and it just kind of turns you off.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Oh, okay.
All right, Chris is in a hero's grave. What do we have here for hero's grave? Liurnia boss?
Could be Liurnia bosses.
Yeah.
Could be tree spirits. He could be doing the hero's grave right at the beginning in the stranded graveyard, which leads to a tree spirit.
Yep.
That looks to be the only things I see.
Yeah, well, he's got a bunch of Liurnia bosses because he has Godrick, he has Soldier of Godrick, he has the Black Knife.
I think this is
Assassin.
definitely the Limgrave hero's grave. I think this is the.
Oh right, Limgrave, not Liurnia.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's right. Aggie's heading into Raya Lucaria for maybe sorcery,
remembrances potentially. So he's going for this little skip here. It's a good one. Skips that first room there in Raya Lucaria.
He's cash with it.
That is a
That's
really
nice.
nice skip. He
Yeah.
threw the kukri there because enemies in Elden Ring are alerted by sound. So if you throw a kukri against a wall, enemies will be like, "Oh, what was that?"
They're basically Germa.
Yeah.
What a fine kukri noise!
That was a sound effect.
Everybody, shut the fuck up! I gotta go check this
I gotta
out.
go over here and listen to that and mimic it.
I'm telling you, I was a bird in the past life.
Yeah.
You're not lying about this beast jaw.
That's
it is.
Smoked
insane.
it.
For a while, right when the game came out and players were routing hitless, this was a weapon that players really liked because the boss patterns hadn't been totally figured out yet. And if you can stand in the distance and just do the Ashabor, it's pretty nice.
Insert Moog's spear.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Ruining lives.
So Chris is definitely going for his second tree spirit here. He just killed one, now heading to the one in Mount Gelmir. So it looks like Chris is going for that. Aggie, meanwhile, maybe just heading towards remembrances, I guess.
So Aggie's got Radahn, and this would be his second.
Capital access.
Well, for what though?
Yeah.
Moog Sewers, capital
Moog Sewers,
access.
Morgoth's Great Rune.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really it.
Yeah.
Is,
I
mean, these
is that Great Rune in that huge pain in the ass?
Yes.
place?
Yes.
And that's
Okay.
why, we were kind of thinking, okay, if we get Morgoth's Great Rune, we should reshuffle. Then we were like, let's just not reshuffle, I guess. But usually when you see that on the board, it's like, ah, shit.
Yeah, that's the Fell Twins
Yeah.
fight on the bridge.
Yep.
What a weird fight.
Awful joke, just terrible timing for it. The first time I ever ran into the Fell Twins was on 9/11.
Oh.
Not even joking.
Yeah, that's
And
brutal.
everyone laughed at me. They thought I was setting up a bit. Swear to God, it was not a bit.
What a weird coincidence. eh?
just weird how life works out.
Yeah, weird.
Now I have a question about the last tree spirit. Will Chris reroute back to Stormville, or where
I
is
think
the most
so.
likely?
He'll do
Yeah.
the Stormville one. That's
Yeah.
the lowest scaling, which is usually nice.
Okay.
Because the lower the enemy scaling is, obviously, the quicker he can kill them. And he already has Stormville Graces, which puts him right there.
Yeah.
If he has beside the lift in Stormville Castle, which he might not have, that puts him right there. But Secluded Cell, which is the
Yeah.
Godrick Grace, is also not far.
Got it.
Yeah, he probably didn't do it first just because he wanted to see if he was even contesting that square.
Okay, interesting. Going to Altus, maybe for Lightning Ram Ash of War, leaving the Tree Spirits
Yeah.
open. He probably knows he has
Yes.
good purchase on this square right now.
Yeah, so that's what you were talking about. Like, Chris knows that he has, he's ahead on that square, probably. But you're always, you never know for sure. But sometimes it's worth the risk to
Right.
just hold it for a bit. Especially because he has the easy one open.
This might be, I think for Aggie, the rationale here is not only is it capital access if he needs it, but these are also Red Wolf into Renala is 2 Liurnia bosses.
Yeah.
Yes, true.
I forgot the wolf was in the game.
Yeah.
This guy. Sorry.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I just completely forgot that enemy was in the game. It's like there's like 150 bosses. I forget where some of them are. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. I like the Red Wolf. It's a little bit of a Sif knockoff.
Red Wolf is like one of the bosses where once you get it down, it is so satisfying.
Yeah.
Like that is a boss that is really nice to fight once you get it.
I like it because it's blow up or blow them up.
Yeah.
They won't.
It's a
stop
very
attacking.
Dragon Ball fight.
Yeah.
Like you're either winning or Vegeta's winning. There's
Yeah.
no like.
I hated this fight too.
The Renala fight?
Oh, it drove
You
me
know what? The
crazy.
Renala fight is weird, and a lot of people don't like it for a lot of reasons, but also it is beautiful, and Phase 2 is probably the most beautiful fight in the whole game, or
Yeah.
among the most beautiful fights in the whole game. It is
Yeah.
just so, it's such a just beautiful, breathtaking everything. But yeah, the fight itself is pretty lame.
Oh, Chris is doing the Tree Spirit in Altus. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice.
Maybe sign up for some later game stuff.
Yeah, maybe just the synergy of Altus feels nice to him here. It does take a little bit to get to the one in Stormvale. I actually didn't think about this one at all.
I feel like, in my opinion, it's not worth it just because you probably have so much more health. But I don't know, what's the arena like for the one in Stormville?
It's pretty bad.
It's bad, yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, so sometimes I feel like players just like to do weird things just for the vibes too. So
Yeah, and also, there's some implicit bias of like, oh, I hate that particular thing.
yeah. Just like have a bad experience with it and
Yeah.
just have bad omens.
Yeah,
Don't wanna do
everybody
it
has
again.
that one or two things or areas that you're just like, I
Yeah.
don't want to do
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it might be completely different than anybody else.
I beat Moog on my very first try, and I thought he was the easiest boss
Really?
until I fought him again. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this boss sucks.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild how like FromSoft hard bosses, the first attempt will be the closest you'll get until your 100th
yeah.
attempt?
Oh, yeah.
Like the game knows.
I swear there's like a first try
Oh, yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Well, you go with the mentality of, I don't care. I'm just going to learn the fight. Who cares? There's no
Yeah.
pressure.
And then you
Yeah.
get down to one hit and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And then you never get there.
Never.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're Aggie, who just stomps.
Yeah, there's Renala down. I am so intrigued by Aggie's weapon choice here. The Mantis Blade, I mean, it is a solid weapon. It's very fast, and, DPS is definitely good. It's just not a weapon I feel like I see players choose. Very, very interesting.
I have never seen that weapon.
Yeah, I don't know
didn't
much
even know
about
it
it either.
existed until just
There
now.
are so many goddamn
There's like
weapons in this
300
game.
and something, yeah. I was about to do a weapon tier list, and I was like, well, I got to block off like 4 streams for that.
I did
Shout out Rusty.
I did it all from software boss tier list stream.
Oh, yeah.
And I did not realize how long that was going to
Yeah.
take.
Oh, yeah.
It was like 7 hours straight.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and eventually I was just like, oh shit.
With Elden Ring included?
With all
you
of them, yeah.
fool. You fool.
Actually, it may have been pre-Elden Ring. I don't remember it. But yeah, I remember it took forever.
And you have more opinions on all of them than you thought you did. Like a boss you fought 10 years ago, you're like, wait, actually, I hated that
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
You pull up a YouTube clip of the fight and you're like, well, actually, this fight sucks.
Yeah.
I was completely wrong of liking this.
Yeah. We do have Chris talking to Cell in here, who is the sorcery lady.
My queen.
I think that Well, how much does she have?
She's going to have, so she starts with 6 or 8, and he has 2 scrolls, I believe. He has the one from near Thops. So yeah, he's going to have 10 here, and he should have already picked up enough. It looks like he doesn't have enough money to buy all the ones he needs, so he will have to come back. Oh, he's looking for the duplicates on Thops there.
This is pretty big because Aggie's killing balls right now, and he drops another sorcery.
He does drop a sorcery, but I think for Aggie, it's less about the sorcery and more about the LilAggy boss.
Yep.
But you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
The sorcery does
birds.
play in nicely.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to consider things like that if Aggie was. Aggie's probably like, yeah, this is useful for sorceries if that ends up coming about.
You're thinking like a bingo player, Tom. You should play
Yeah.
bingo.
I have like 3,000 hours.
You should play some bingo, baby.
I'm just real low key about it.
Oh yeah. Is Aggie doing? Yeah, I'm back to Liurnia. Probably
Probably Deathbird, I would say. That's a very quick one that's right here. Yeah, changing it tonight. This Deathbird is right here. And then I don't know how many Liurnia bosses he's on right now. Probably 4. He may go for a Knight's Cav since it's already nighttime.
Yeah, he's got 4. True. Unless no, he did Tibia Mariner, so he has at least 5.
Yeah, Tibia Mariner, Renala, Red Wolf, Bolse.
Yeah.
Did he do anything else?
Tree Sentinel for the not tree, the Tree Lady.
The Erdtree Avatar for the so that's 5. So this will be his final Liurnia boss here.
Yeah, this game is really close.
Is there a world where he uses Red Feather Branch Sword for any bosses? Or?
Maybe. It's kind of hard to set up if you don't have a way to like damage yourself.
Oh, that's right.
Nice dodge there. Okay, so that's 12 sorceries. So Chris is currently on 8 squares, and Aggie is also on 8, but this will be his 9th. So this is an unbelievably close game heading into the last probably 20 or 30 minutes here.
Yeah, it's cool how opposite their paths were.
But at the same time, they're avoiding the same squares. So like soon they're gonna have to make some choices.
So I would guess Aggie would go do Mimic Tier maybe right after this.
Yeah, he's killed Radahn.
Yeah, maybe finish off Remembrances with this. Maybe he does Estelle into Remembrances. Ooh, that's a weird play.
Yeah, there is that synergy.
I would like to see. I really like seeing the good gamers fight Estelle. It's so awesome.
I have a weird feeling they made a gentleman's that we didn't hear about with the lightning ram at the end. Like they're both just gonna go and rolling in at the end.
We've got Chris. So it looks like Aggie might potentially be doing the lightning ram square.
Or he could be going to Capital too.
Yeah,
that's possible.
Maybe.
Oh, Chris is picking up the lightning pot recipe here, which is the pot you have to use in order to do the Mimic Tier cheese.
But he doesn't have Radahn open. Not like Radahn will take him very long, but it is still something to get done.
And then he's taking this bridge teleport to the other side. For what?
Maybe he needs some resources for consumable.
Yeah, Fulgur Bloom or something.
Yeah.
So, killing the Mimic Tier.
Yeah.
How many consumables? How hard is that?
Parky was mentioning earlier that there is a cheese that we have agreed as a community to allow, where if you stand in a very specific spot, you know how Mimic Tier starts as a puddle before forming in? He transforms at a very specific spot in the arena, and if you stand just outside that and throw a lightning pot onto him, he has like 1 HP basically, and dies before he can spawn. It's a little cheesy, but it works.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's
jury's a little out on whether or not it's hashtag
it's kind of
cool.
Split. In my opinion, as much as it's good to have that because the fight sucks. I think the point of that square is to have a little bit of a difficult square.
I agree.
Because as I was saying, the consumable Mimic Tier really sucks.
Like kukris and throwing knives are like all you've got.
Yeah, it's brutal, and then you're gonna run out. Yeah.
And the input reading in this game is on another level.
Yeah, the NPC fights in this game are. I'm a huge hater of NPC fights in any Souls game. Just like get them out. I can go on no, don't get
Magnus
me started on this,
Beastclaw
but it sucks.
ruins my life every single time.
That's a tough NPC.
Yeah.
Who was the NPC with the spray can in Bloodborne that was on the bridge?
Oh,
that
one of the
awful.
Yeah, that guy is rough.
Dude, the Bloodborne NPCs are brutal.
Okay, wait, I've got good news for all my gamers at home and my Ash of War Lightning Ram enjoyers.
Yeah.
Chris is heading towards the Ash of War Lightning Ram right now. Our dreams are being fulfilled.
Yeah.
This is what we care about. This is what
Everyone
we came
pay
to see.
attention to Chris's screen here. This is the most epic square that we have in the
He's also picking up Fulgur Bloom, which you need to craft the lightning pots. So kind of, a little bit of column A, column B here. That's nice.
And yeah, Aggie looks like he's
Oh yeah, low key they're racing on this.
Yeah, Aggie looks like he's going towards
It's kind of the final fast square besides Leonine here. I don't know. I feel like maybe Leonine or Mimic Tier is the sauce here.
I think they're gonna probably contest Mimic Tier after, which Aggie doesn't have the pause ready, but he does have Radahn done.
So Chris needs to put the Ash of War Lightning Ram onto something. So he has to go back to Round Table Hold in order to do that. He's just putting it on this Rapier here.
Lay out your arms then.
Yeah, I love Hugh. He's good. But I prefer Andre.
I was gonna say, who's your favorite?
Dude,
Yeah,
when
Andre.
Andre's like, when he goes, neither one of us wants to see you go hollow.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't either, buddy.
I'm a Demon Souls enjoyer. With your souls. Oh yeah, I love Ed.
I'm a big flame.
Actually, that's
Dear flame.
That's the wrong. There's two. Like I said the other one.
Yeah, they are racing for this.
Yeah.
That just means I get to see it twice, and I love it.
Yeah.
Well, okay, let's all count to 10 together, chat. This is an important skill check for players. You know, they can play Elden Ring, they can hitless Godrick, they can beat the game, they can kill Melania. Can they count to 10? That's a real question.
Aggie actually, is he retiring this? Maybe.
No, he's still going for it.
Okay.
He's heading in.
Yes, there's one.
They're running
See,
away
there they
from
go.
Chris here. They're running
this
away.
is the best, yeah.
Oh, he's got on torrents. Okay. Oh.
A little UCIC.
I thought it killed him for a second.
All right, here we go.
And two. Oh, crouching up. Okay, three, four.
This is what you came to see.
Five.
Peak television.
Well,
Six.
oh, he just
Oh,
limp
Aggie's
biscuit.
on two.
Two over here.
Seven on Chris. Three for Aggie.
This is the closest race we've seen. 8.
That's 8 for Chris. Uh-oh, we could see an upset here. 4 for Aggie.
9.
9.
Yeah,
Oh,
there
no.
it is,
no.
yeah.
6, 7.
Wow, that was so That was brutal.
This is why we do it. This is Elden Ring.
See, so when you get snipes like that, it's pretty hype usually.
There were 3 sheep right there.
Yeah.
That could have been.
That was less than a
crazy.
5-second snipe.
Yeah.
Okay, back to Eldritch Horrors. Beyond our comprehension.
Oh my god, the sheeps are getting revenge.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a time sink. So snipes like that hurt pretty bad usually.
So that means Aggie is currently on 9, and Chris is also on 9. We are all tied up here, entering the 1 hour, 5 minute mark.
Yeah, Aggie's heading into Landel probably.
Yeah, this is interesting because everything that's left is decently long.
Yeah.
Aggie knows he might have the priority on Mimic Tier consumables only. Leonine Misbegotten open, like Tevin was saying, that's a pretty quick goal. There's not a lot of investment, though you do. It's a long running section.
Yeah, so the good thing about getting Landel access, which Aggie is doing, is that you can do Moog Sewers like that, which is a pretty fast square. Morgoth's Grey Rune, if it comes to it, yeah, you have access to that. You can get Remembrances. I mean, yeah, these are kind of long squares. But it's better to have the Landel access than to not.
There's also the interesting thing of like, okay, there's 25 squares. If it's going to be 13 to 12, that means every square has to get marked, right, at some point.
Right.
And that's only if it's as close as can be. But both of our players do not want to do Remembrance Boss Bow only.
Yeah.
I was going to say, where do they have a place for this at this point?
Yeah.
Chris has Renala available. That might be the
No, it's not. It's not going to happen.
Oh, well, Aggie
because
has Godrick, doesn't he?
Aggie has
Aggie has
Oh, that's
So what's
right.
going to happen
Okay.
is you like Renala. You can't really do it because of the first phase. It's just like not viable. Even if you wanted to try, the other player will get it. Aggie's probably what players will do. Aggie probably knows that Chris has done it because Chris got 4 God Bosses square,
Yep.
and so Aggie is probably going to hold that until the end and just do it when he needs an extra square because he knows that it's over.
Yeah.
Okay, Aggie's going for a parry cheese here.
Yeah.
Slap him on the butt. Goodbye, DTS. Oh, it
no,
didn't work.
Didn't work.
Okay,
Why?
Aggie's going to have to
DTS cheese
potentially
is banned.
fight him legit.
What the fuck? Don't stop.
DTS cheese is banned in the rule set. I mean,
Wait, is it?
it's banned in Season 3 rule set.
Gentleman's agreement stuff, yeah. I mean,
Wait, do we all hear each other now?
Also, you fucking screen peeker?
No, we can't hear them.
Yeah, they're
I think they can
screen
hear us a little bit when we're loud.
Yeah, okay, so there is a Stake America here, so they'll be okay.
It sounds like maybe they had a gentleman's agreement or something that is either being honored or not honored.
Oh, this is the fight where I growled at somebody in my chat.
Oh yeah.
I'm so interested in everything you have to say.
Yeah,
man.
right.
Every story is like weird dad lore.
Yeah.
This is where I growled at that guy. This is where me and the snake found a bunch of
Yeah,
flowers.
yeah.
I got stuck here for an hour or two, and
This boss is super hard for
Yeah.
how much damage scales upward.
Oh no! What is that damage that Eggy has? Why does that
It's
look
the
like that?
so it's the plus 16 Mantis blade. I mean, it's just
Oh
not
my
going to give the
God.
damage output.
brutal.
It's a short sword. I mean, it's just not.
oh wow.
See, so this is where the damage is so big. You guys saw Chris. I didn't even see Chris fighting.
No.
That's how
Yeah,
fast
the-
that
He just
was.
went.
The plus
Yeah.
9 falling star beast draw is just gonna. The DPS is so
Oh
much
my
higher.
god, brutal.
There's gonna be a lot of like making up time for Chris. He might start to.
Yeah,
Yeah, as these
Have an
later
advantage.
game bosses, the damage is gonna matter so
Yeah.
much more.
yeah. And they're both equally good on most of these fights.
Yeah.
So it is tough. I can see Chris going for Moog Sewers here. And now, I mean, this doesn't really happen in Bingo usually, but they know just because of the fact that we're all next to each other, they know that they're on the same spot.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of weird pressure probably on Aggie here. And a little bit of relief on Chris.
Also, Chris calling out a rule thing when he marked a goal 10 minutes
Yeah.
late.
Yeah, that's
okay,
a little
buddy.
weird, Chris.
Okay, buddy.
I was gonna. That's what. If I was that guy, I'd be like, yeah, man, I'm just gonna not follow that since we're just freestyling today.
Yeah. Well, it's all for charity. So.
It's all
Yeah.
for
It does,
it's for
charity, guys. Get those
fun.
donations in.
Oh, yeah.
Every
We'll
dollar
cheat.
goes towards a good cause.
We will cheat on a game for charity.
Oh,
Let me
yeah.
tell you, if it's funny, we'll do it.
Noticing that the heal from the flask
Yeah,
is
it's-
about
it's-
4
horrible.
centimeters.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It wastes time to go pick up flask upgrades,
Yeah.
right? They're out of the way.
Sacred tears or
Yeah. Damn, this is getting a little stressful.
gonna have to
It's
drink the
getting
whole
there.
bottle to fill up your health bar.
Yeah, literally. I mean, that's the thing with having a lot of HP bar.
Oh,
like,
that's the one. That's the one. You hate
Yeah.
to see that,
Yeah.
Is Aggie out of heals?
He is, I think.
but not out of options.
Not out of options. I mean, if you guys don't know, Aggie no-hit rando this game, so he did a randomizer and he no-hit it, and he beat the game like that.
Wow.
So he has a lot of experience on no-hitting bosses. Obviously, things happen and some weapons are bad, but
A stagger would be huge here
Yeah.
for Aggie. That would probably finish it. Okay, so this is not the attack you want to see.
There's a lot of variance to Draconic Tree Sentinel as well. The amount of ways he can swing
Ooh.
fast or slow.
No,
like that.
dude. Oh, that
Yeah.
attack. Not only the wind up in Elden Ring. Can we talk about this for a second?
Yeah.
But also then the AOE afterwards. No
Dude,
good.
so many damn bosses in this game, and I literally knew that this was gonna happen because of this shitty ass lightning thing. Like it's just like why I
Dude,
rolled, what
imagine if an
happened?
MLB pitcher did his little thing and then pulled his arm to here.
Yeah.
And waited for 10
Oh,
seconds
yeah.
and then
there are pitchers that do that.
Oh, it's
Really?
brutal.
Yeah, they can
That's-
sit there and hold it. There's one guy who like doubles his foot, like he'll do like a
What?
serpent movement. Yeah.
No, we don't need
I think
that.
Hideo Nomo.
That's crazy.
I think it's the variance too of the here it comes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then here's 2 more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who? Yeah. So Margit does a lot of delays, and we all know
Yeah.
that. But Margit has one specific move. He'll hold it up, and we know like there's specific ways to fight him, kind of scripted. And you're doing it, and you're like, okay, Margit, okay. And he's like,
Yeah, he's like-
wind, and you're like, okay, I know this fight. You're supposed to hit now, and then he will just cancel it, and
Yeah.
you're like, okay.
Yeah, Makar is the one that always gets me with that slow ass.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks I swear to God, he goes, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
he rolls.
No, he does though. He does.
Gotcha, bitch.
Yeah. No. It's brutal.
If they start adding flinch bosses in this bitch, I swear.
That's why the DLC scares the shit out of me. We are
Yeah.
going to get in the DLC a boss that actually probably stands there with a baseball glove
Yeah.
and is like,
it's just your dad. He goes,
Yeah.
yeah, this is gonna be like, I'm gonna hit you.
No, it's
Here it comes.
brutal.
And
It's
then
so
when you
bad.
roll, he laughs and then hits you.
it's just Shao Kahn. He's like, you suck. Ooh.
Yeah, no, it's brutal, and I think that we should all be terrified of the DLC because if you've played like Dark Souls 1, it's so easy relatively because you go from Elden Ring and you go to Dark Souls 1 and you're like, what? We don't know about delays in Dark Souls 1.
Yeah.
What? Like this is so crazy and different.
Yeah, I played Dark Souls 2 again recently, and it's crazy just how different.
Yeah.
The enemies in Dark Souls 2 are like, I am a swing, swing,
Yeah.
swing.
Yeah.
It's like almost like I want to say like robotic
Yeah.
in a way. And then you get to Elden Ring and you get to like Bloodborne and beyond. It's like
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
god, it's brutal.
Fortis axe.
Yeah, it's crazy. But you can't even be mad a lot of the time because you're just like, wow. Like,
Yeah, the spectacle of
Horaloo, the
it.
first time
Oh,
you
it's
go to
great.
Horaloo and he just like throws you up and just slams you down and you're like, wow.
Okay, that's like
That
you're,
anime-
You're projecting.
No, that fight is so good.
She
Horaloo is-
bestilled her breath on that one. That was like her own personal thing
I
going on.
I believe I put the Horaloo fight in S tier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Amen.
I would feel
Best
too.
that and Malekith are my two favorites. Like every
Oh,
time
I
do
don't.
it.
I'm not a big Malekith
I love
enjoyer.
when he literally enters beast mode. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
you're my guy
that
now.
cutscene is pretty dope.
Yeah.
The cutscene between Godfrey and Horaloo, I love so much. It's so cool. What are the scores looking like here? 1, 2, 3,
So
4, 5, 6,
I believe it is
10-9?
10-9 potentially. We've got 9 for Aggie and 9 for Chris
Yeah.
still. So it's still 9 all.
So yeah, Aggie looks like he's in this little bit of a thing that happens with Elden Ring Bingo when like, you know, you should have got it the first time, and then this happens and like.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, you start getting hit to just bullshit that you shouldn't be getting hit to, and it just like that's where the mental stuff comes in, right? Like
Yep.
it's just.
Yeah,
It's
this
brutal.
is the snowballing we're talking. Sometimes
Yeah.
you have what we call in the business we call it an incident.
Yeah.
A DTS
The DTS
incident. A
incident,
DTS
no.
incident is taking place.
You gotta have an incident.
You do,
It's
you do,
alright.
you do.
So here we have Morgott, who, if you don't know, is Margit.
Why are you spoiling a game?
Okay, so I'm not a big lore person of this game, but basically it's like Margit, was like, haha, I'm actually Morgott, but I'm just gonna change one letter and you're not gonna know. And now he's like, haha, this is actually me, and
Yeah.
you never knew that. And
I
that's
think
all.
that
Let's go,
he
Shows up a third time.
is like on some Clark Kent shit where he's like
He-
doing. Or like Batman, where he's like
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
nefarious
Yeah,
shit
yeah, yeah.
as Margit, and he's like, now I'm
Yeah,
playing as
maybe.
Morgott. But it doesn't matter because all the people in the Golden Order fucking hate him anyway. It's like, you're ugly, boo, spit. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we also have Ronnie do the same thing. The first time
Yeah.
you meet her, she's like, I'm Rena, and you're like, what? And she looks the same and everything.
Okay, what's going on with Irina or the Hyena? What is the
So-
what's the
and what the
No,
fuck?
so
what the fuck even is the
Irina-
chew fingers? You know what I mean?
The two
Yeah,
fingers?
I don't get that one at all.
I don't
Two
know.
fingers.
I avoid that quest every time. I hate talking to them. But Irina is like the vessel.
She's
and
like a
then
puppet or
Hieta
something?
is like the bad thing.
Dude, I swear to God,
Yeah.
like you meet an NPC called like Billy Bob the
Yeah.
Builder, and Billy Bob the Builder's like, "Hello, it's so nice to meet you. I've been a builder for 20 years." And then you read an item description. It's like Billy Bob the Builder was convicted of murdering
Yeah.
40 children.
Yeah.
He ate their corpses and he didn't care.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, like
Yora and Shabriri, you're like, what the
Yeah,
fuck is
yeah,
going
yeah,
on
yeah.
This-
anymore?
I love the lore though. The whole thing with the omens and
Oh, yeah.
There's a whole. I could watch 1,000 hours of Elden Ring lore
Yeah.
videos.
oh yeah.
And then a week later, I'm just like, shit, what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
So you got it's the Golden Order, and
Yeah.
then you've got America. And, okay,
Vadi got the world in a chokehold.
Yeah, but like what I don't love, I'm
Oh,
not
I missed the
personally a
skip.
great kind of memory person. So I'm like, all right, so we got Millennia, we got Melina, we got Godfrey, we got other Godfrey, we got Godefroy, we got Godrick,
Yeah.
we got Margit, we got
Godwin,
Morgott, we got
the Godwin.
Yeah, yeah,
spoiler alert. But
Yeah.
the Godwin that you can find in a few places.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to learning more about that.
I mean, yeah, it's just like the names are like it's because
I'm-
GRRM. That's why they did it. But like, come on,
Dude,
guys.
I've seen so many Elden Ring lore videos, and I still don't understand Radahn America. That shit is beyond me. I don't.
Godfrey ruined my life. When I opened that Evergen,
Dude.
I was like, I hate this.
No,
I hate you.
dude,
I hate everything about this.
Godefroy, listen, I'm like, why? Like, I'm all like, when people say, "Oh, Elden Ring reuses bosses," I'm like, no, it's valid. It's an open world game, whatever. But I'm like, really, guys?
Yeah.
Because Godefroy, I'm like, okay, chat. What's the lore then? If this is such a normal boss, what's the fucking
That's
lore?
a remembrance
Dude,
boss.
There's wait, are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm talking about Godfrey, but like the fact that he's
Oh,
just
yeah,
cloned
yeah.
in the same
Well, and he
way.
also is like neutered. Like he doesn't
Yeah.
have any of the second
Yeah,
phase
yeah.
sauce at all.
No, it's like okay, guys, like really, and yeah, I don't think he even has lore. I think it's just like a little buddy.
Somebody once told me he was Godfrey's uncle. So
Yeah, someone told me that
yeah,
too.
Maybe that's true.
It's probably true.
Fun
then.
fact, one of the ashes, one of the legendary ashes, actually beat him. He was a general of some sort, and
Yes.
one of the ashes beat him and put him in that jail.
Oh, damn.
one of the Lanedale.
And he just
legendary
happens to look
badges.
exactly
Yeah.
like his nephew.
And
he just
And
looks
talk and
just
has
like him.
same voice lines. you know.
Yeah.
So Chris is heading towards Estelle here. Meanwhile, Aggie's heading down into the sewers.
Yeah.
So that DTS, maybe doesn't matter so much because Chris really only gets the Morgott progress
Yeah.
on Aggie here. And Aggie still has precedence here on Mimic Tier
Mimic Tier,
consumables
yeah.
only.
So again, if let's say this does come down to like one square, and it like Chris kind of cannot get the bow remembrance boss.
Yeah,
bow
true,
square.
yeah.
So I think Aggie's using that as a little bit of a cushion, right? Like,
Potentially, yeah.
yeah.
I think I was thinking about this earlier. I think Chris is holding Leonine Bits Begotten in that same way, where as soon as he sees like, oh, the boss or the bow is becoming the thing he's going to start targeting, I
Yeah.
need to pivot and go to Leonine Bits Begotten because it's
Yeah.
that's the same like ease.
Yeah, maybe. So yeah, we'll see here. I love fighting Estelle with colossal weapons. I think it's actually a lot of fun to get the staggers on him.
This is also another remembrance boss
Yeah.
for Chris here,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
will be his fourth because he's done Morgott, Godfrey, Renala, or not Renala.
Godrick.
Pardon me, Godrick,
Yeah.
Renala
He's not
Rykard, yeah.
Wait, doesn't he have 4 already?
No, this will be his fourth. He didn't do Renala.
This
That was
is fourth.
Aggie.
Okay.
I forget Astel does have a remembrance.
Yeah, only this one though. The other Estelle in Consecrated Snowfield does
The
not
harder
have
one?
Yeah, the harder one does not have a
Which
remembrance.
is weird, yeah.
Speaking of sound effects, all the Estelle sounds are crazy.
Yeah.
Like when they lift you up and that woo sound and they're about to smack the shit out of you. I love
very.
it.
I love the pincers, like when it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
I just love, the meddling of the gods.
It's beautiful.
So Aggie is on his way to Moog sewers, which, by the way, I am of the opinion that Moog in the sewers is almost a more fun fight than real Moog, just
I
because,
agree.
like,
I
maybe
agree.
not the music and the theatrics and all that,
no
but
Nihil.
But no, yeah, it's like the good parts of Moog. And,
Yeah.
and I feel the same way about Goldfree versus Godfrey. It's like all the fun parts about Godfrey, just, in a little package.
Oh, this is a Moog sewer skip from Aggie.
Nice.
Well
Nice.
First
done.
try,
Yeah, that
let's
was nice.
go.
Whoa.
So that saves a couple minutes of movement around the sewers. I don't know about minutes. It's fast.
I
think it's minutes.
I would say at
They don't
least a
know.
minute.
Just make up a number and say
Yeah.
it. The people are gonna
That
be like,
saved
wow.
him like 10 minutes.
That
Yeah.
saves an hour,
Yeah,
Chad.
wow.
Yeah, you can tell. I have no
He's
idea.
back in the run.
Yeah. Okay, so oftentimes when it starts getting to this point, the players start thinking about win conditions. Like, what do I have to get in order to win?
Right.
What can I get in order to win? So I'm curious what they're thinking of here. Did Chris just get that Estelle?
Yeah, Chris
Yes.
just got the remembrances. So now Aggie's heading into Sewer Moog. And then Chris is going to be uncontested on Morgott's Great Rune. So that would put Chris at 11 points, meaning Aggie's going to have to pick up consumables only, and he knows Chris might have a little bit of priority here on Estelle.
I think he also thinks Chris has priority on Morgott.
Yeah,
He came so
probably
much
because he
earlier.
died to DTS so many
Yeah.
times. Yeah.
Yeah, this almost assures that Aggie has to go for Mimic Tier, Leonine Misbegotten, and Bow.
Well, so
only.
Chris is going for Leonine Misbegotten right
Oh,
now.
No,
He's running in there
man.
right now.
This is starting to look like
Yeah.
a setup for a victory.
But as we like to say, it's not over till it's over. Honestly, as crazy as sometimes may be, you're like, how would this guy ever lose? Like, you can have incidences on anything. It's like a classic. I've never seen that move before. How did I die there?
Well, this game is goofy.
Yeah, anything could happen.
Anything can happen.
Yeah. So it's not over till it's over.
And honestly, for me, it's always such a treat to watch two really talented players
Oh,
like this
yeah.
fight bosses that
Yeah.
I myself struggle with. Like, this is going to be a Moog masterclass, basically.
Yeah.
They have traded blows back and forth on this several times. Like, these are the two LeBrons of
Oh, yeah.
of Elden Ring.
Yeah. It's
Gamers
great.
in chat, I don't know if we have mods in either chat that could post links, but both of these guys have YouTube channels and Twitch pages, and they're both, streaming, posting banger videos all the time. LilAggy and star0chris, you can find them on everything.
Yeah, literally some of the, if not the best Elden Ring players in the world. They're just incredible to watch.
And just look how focused. Look at the focus.
Yeah.
Look at the gamer focus. Just not a smile in sight.
Yeah.
That's the thing about these games, though, is a lot of times you need to lock it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It just laser.
Yeah,
And then you beat the boss and you're like, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
You get off of like a shift of Elden Ring.
Yeah.
You get out and you go.
I gotta go to the goddamn office
Yeah.
tonight.
You go to the bathroom and you like lean over the sink and you're like,
Melania's not gonna kill herself.
another 8 hours in the old mines.
It's like, guys, look how much we love Elden Ring. Don't
Honey,
we?
I
We're
gotta
so
put
happy.
food on the table somehow.
Yeah.
Especially when like you do what these guys do, like they've talked about the challenge runs, like 10 times the enemies or like triple bosses and shit. Like you think one Millennia sucks? Imagine 4 waterfowls in your ass.
Yeah. It's brutal.
I hate that move. That move is like the worst move ever.
Yeah.
Which one was that?
The waterfowl.
The waterfowl. Oh yeah, classic.
I love that the first time we all saw it, everyone immediately had the same response. Like, no, you can't do anything about that. There's literally nothing to do about that.
Even the players who know how to dodge it occasionally get caught and are just like, man.
Yeah, like the strat for like the players who know is like you have to be a perfect distance away. Too close is too close, she'll kill you. Too far is like too far. Unless you're like really, really far to not even touch you. But like to dodge it, you really have to be in like a perfect distance.
I truly think without that move, it's a perfect fight.
Oh, it is beautiful.
You either get rid of that or the heal steal.
Yeah.
You know what though? I'm kind of a believer of like people are like, oh well, you can't dodge it and it's bullshit and whatever. But I believe in the fact that like an art of the fight is being able to AI manip and stay far away so that she doesn't catch you. And maybe you don't have to learn it, but you have to be aware to stay far enough away so that it doesn't kill you.
You believe way too much in the human spirit.
Yeah.
I pulled out Mimic Tier and we got the ass blasted.
I think I just said over and over again. You know, what were they thinking? I mean, what were they thinking?
That's exactly what I said.
Anyway, Leonine was Begotten's dead.
Yeah, we blinked and Leonine is dead. There it is.
So
Aggie wasn't even on his way to Leonine, so he's not too worried.
That's 11 squares for Chris and 10 for Aggie. So reminder, it is 13 to win. There are no open bingo lines, which means it's going to have to be square majority here. We've got 4 squares left. Chris needs 2 of them. Aggie needs 3 of them.
Aggie is collecting the setup for Mimic Tier consumable only. Chris is on his way to Estelle. Aggie knows he has bow only. Chris knows he has Morgott. So...
yeah, it's just the putting away squares.
I think this will matter a little bit on if someone has an incident or how fast things go. But either way, I mean, a really, really nice game. A really nice showcase of Elden Ring Bingo, I think.
So the really cool thing about this, really, so this is the first time I've ever seen this.
Sure, yeah.
Really?
Right. Oh, yeah. So this could be anything on this board.
Yes.
This could be go talk to an NPC.
Yeah.
This could be, go kill a random enemy or something in the mountain somewhere.
Yeah.
There's just so many different things that this could be.
We basically, as a community, just over time, doing lots of races, picked the goals that we thought not only, okay, these are decently hard, but also that are fun. Like, we want a good amount of the squares. There are some bad ones, sure, that you got to have a little bit of unfortunate stuff. But for the most part, there's like hundreds of goals that we've decided, okay, these are the fun ones that mesh well together and are exciting to watch.
Yeah, I do wish that this specific board, I wish we got a little more of some of the other variety. Like, we got a lot of bosses in here, which is always really fun, but just for the sake of the showcase, I wish we got a little more of the other stuff.
That just means I got to watch more bingo.
That's so true.
Yeah,
we have leagues, and they are just unbelievable.
Yeah, we have this, like I mentioned before, Bingo Brawlers, which is the bingo league for Elden Ring run by Captain Domo. And it's just so much fun to play in and watch.
Oh my god, it's so much fun to watch. People will like set time aside to watch it. It's like sports. It's why do you guys watch sports? Well, why do you guys watch bingo? It's like that sort of thing.
And Domo has really spearheaded getting the goals laid down, the mods that both players are using today on stream. He got those going. So it's really exciting to see bingo developing.
Oh yeah, it's so fun, and especially if you can follow it and and like you usually watch and there's commentators to help, but it's fun to follow.
How long has this been going on for?
Bingo Brawlers Season 1 was like a year and a half ago, and we just finished Season 3, so it's like every 6 to 9 months there will be a season. There
will be one short after the DLC. If anyone's interested in watching, that will be on Domo's channel.
I think there's also another league for no hit, right?
Yeah, no hit league. Yeah,
run by
the
Zero Hit
Mob.
League. Yeah, there's tons of cool stuff happening in the Elden Ring and just FromSoft community in general.
Oh yeah,
it's really really cool to see. And we've got all manner of players. We've got players that do primarily challenge runs participating. We've got speedrunners participating.
Yeah, and you know what is so fun about bingo, and I'm sure this goes for all games that do bingo, is that it's really cool to see the way speedrunners play bingo versus the way challenge runners play bingo and whatever, because bingo is like such its own skill set, and you can use things that obviously to help, but like you can be good at speedrunning the game, but be horrible at bingo, right? Like, there's so many new things you have to know, but it's also cool to see, like, this one person is a speedrunner, and so they might be bad at the boss squares, but they're really good at the pick up these things and pick up these things squares, and it's, like, so much variety, and each player excels. It's so cool to see each player excel in what they're good at. It's so fun. So, by the way, Aggie is about to get to Mimic tier here.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Chris is about to mark, so long as there's no last-minute incident.
Surely not, right?
Surely not. He can probably finish it with
the cursing you guys are doing is insane.
Dude, it's brutal.
I'm just in for a nice match.
I would hate for the internet to go.
Yeah, he's got that.
All right, there you go.
There
So
we
that's
go.
another square for Chris, putting Chris in winning position here. That is, I believe, 12 for
12,
Chris.
yeah. I mean, he's about to go get that Morgoth's Grey Runes.
Great
Yeah,
That's
so this is
amazing.
Aggie's got to get these this Remembrance Boss bow only. Here's the
know
Mimic
what?
tier consumables only, so he's going to set up. Every player has a little bit of a different setup here for this. Looks like Aggie's just kind of freeballing it.
Uh-oh.
Just kind of saucing it up here. All right, there we go.
Oh, that trajectory.
So Aggie has to get this and bow only before Chris can get Morgoth's Grey Rune, and honestly, it's like kind of doable.
Yeah, I
think.
agree.
It's like super doable. Oh god, because Godrick is really easy. The only thing Aggie needs is a bow, right?
Oh, well, wait,
Yeah.
does Aggie have 11 or 12? Because if Aggie only has 11, then this might be a sunk ship.
Yeah, this is 11. That would be his 12th, right?
No, he has. Oh, does he have?
Yeah, he has 11.
He has 11 right
Chris
now.
has
Oh
12.
shit, eh? So it's not.
Yeah, so I think this might unfortunately be GG, but of course, that only is if Chris is able to get there.
Yeah.
There is a boss standing between Chris and that square, so it's not free.
And it's get it off there.
Imagine we just threw that in there. And now comes the weird portion where we all get up and start yelling at Chris right next to him to make him nervous.
Nah, Chris will be fine.
So yeah, Aggie is heading up to
Yeah.
Morgoth here. If he did Morgoth bow only, then we'd have a little synergy
You know what?
here.
This does happen sometimes. Like, Aggie knows that he needs both of those to win. Maybe he would do Morgoth.
Yeah, you never know.
Because he knows Morgoth. It just, did you have enough
If that
damage?
happens,
whatever.
this is like the most legendary shit I've seen pulled off. Like,
Yeah,
this
this
is a
would
Michael
be-
Jordan-esque.
This would be such a comeback. This is a flu game. Like,
Yeah.
we're going to...
well, like,
Put his name in the rap.
Aggie is not on his way to Godrick. So
Yeah.
does he have?
I
a bow?
want to see it, honestly.
Like, okay, I mean, I would say if Aggie had a really strong weapon, I think maybe I don't know. I mean, not really, but it's at this point, I don't know what he's thinking. If he's actually considering doing bow only, like, it's actually, I mean,
It'd be swag.
it's not impossible. But the issue with this is kind of, it's very unlikely to have an incident with the Fell Twins, and it's just a lot of running.
Yeah.
Not too much RNG in running.
So Chris is going to have to ride or go past this elevator towards the Divine Tower here, and the Fell Twins boss is standing between him and victory.
Yeah, the Fell Twins, if you guys don't exactly know what that is, anyone watching, it's that random ass fight in the darkness that you're like, what the hell is that? And you fight them to get to Morgoth's Great Rune.
It's like a weird Four Kings.
It's like
Yeah.
Four Kings,
Yeah.
yeah. I
I
wonder
think
if
it's like a weird symbolic thing that you like Morgoth and Moog. It's like
it actually
getting
is.
in
There
your
is
brain
actually
or
some sort
something.
of lore with that or something. I don't actually know, but
Okay, now Aggie is heading towards Godrick.
okay, yeah. Yeah, so here's the Fell Twins. I wonder if it is an homage to Four
Yep.
Kings.
I love how if you're slow, 4 Kings can be 5 Kings.
Oh, yeah, I think it
Right.
can be more.
Yeah, it can be
actually.
like infinite
yeah,
kings.
Infinite kings. When I saw that, I was like, what the hell, guys? Just name it Kings.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty upset at the damage on Aggie's weapon for a plus 16.
Yeah, I feel like the damage output might have been the difference maker
think
here.
so,
I mean, just
yeah.
look at how much damage Chris is doing.
I think if Aggie had more damage, like DTS and everything after would have been totally different.
Is there a regular weapon at plus 16 that you think would even be in
Yeah,
that kind of realm?
there-
Iron Balls or Starfists.
I mean, yeah.
like Starfists.
Those might as well be legendary weapons at their own right at this point.
There are good ones. The Naginata is good. That's
Uchigatana is alright.
Yeah.
Most of
I
the
used,
bleeding ones are nice.
Right.
I used the Astal Remembrance weapon.
Oh,
the,
yeah?
the
The wing of a cell.
The baby
No,
rattle.
the baby rattle.
Oh,
Yeah.
that.
The
Yeah,
bastard
yeah.
star?
That
And
thing
you
was
liked
that
it?
thing was pretty. That thing
Oh,
was
okay.
pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
At least that's what everybody told me.
I did pretty well with it.
That's
Yeah,
kind
I
of
think
it's
so.
a meme weapon.
It's not
for
about
sure.
the weapon. It's about
The user.
weapon.
Yeah, how you
user.
use
The
it,
weapon
right?
art, it just blew
It's
up
not
the
about the
screen.
weapon art. It's about you. We're trying to give you props.
No, but the weapon art, it's
Oh, it is
what's
beautiful.
that? That's
The
true, though.
nebula.
If,
That's
if
what it's called,
you're
right?
nothing, if you're not anything without the suit, then you're nothing at all, right? That's what.
I think Iron Man said,
Iron Man
said
once
those
said
words.
that, yeah.
Jerma, do you see yourself more as Iron Man or Spider-Man?
I think I'm a Mysterio.
Wow. Okay. Nice. Out of left field.
You are a Mysterio.
That's my
Absolutely.
favorite character.
Yeah.
Chris riding the elevator up. This will be it, unless something unbelievable takes place.
Maybe he falls off, or maybe the game just dies. That happens sometimes. But
Parky and I just actively throwing medieval curses onto Chris's machine.
Everyone send in the curse of Raw with your donations, please. We need to stop
Get
Chris.
that hardware
He is
lag.
the monkey killer.
The computer just goes like.
I think Aggie's just playing around. He got the crossbow, full moon crossbow there. So crossbow counts as a bow weapon type here.
I like that he. Well, I mean, even if he doesn't know, just the never giving up. Attitude
Yeah.
of
Oh, yeah.
it,
Oh,
I
yeah.
like
you
that.
gotta. I mean, this is obviously looking like Chris's favor, but like, it's not over till it's over, right? Like
Which-
things happen.
It is right now.
It is over now.
always run it out through
Yeah.
first base,
Yep,
right?
yep, yep.
Because you never know, there could
Yo,
be something.
There we go.
GG's.
Boys. Very
Producers,
good
if we
game.
could get audio from us back in Chris and Aggie's headsets, that would be
Loud and
oh,
clear.
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic.
Yeah,
run.
gamers.
Great show.
How do you
The
feel?
last square.
They can't hear us yet.
It was a fun board. No,
Oh,
we can hear you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got you. Yeah, that was a board. That was definitely
A lot of bosses. Unfortunate damage output on your side, Aggie, for a
Yeah.
boss board like this.
What weapon were you using?
I just had the Mantis blade. Plus
Oh,
16.
yeah, that's...
Yeah, so I actually got a Dragon Halberd, and I was going to switch over and go as Stealth, but then you went as Stealth, and I knew you had
Okay.
on Morgan.
yeah, I had
Damn.
Falling Star Beast Jaw from
Yeah, that's
the
pretty good.
5-6 cave, yeah.
That's pretty good.
So I'm curious, we had a lot of, hot-seated discussion about one particular goal, and I'm curious why you guys left it so long and then gave us the race of a lifetime. Ash of
Yeah.
War Lightning
Yeah,
Ram,
yeah, yeah.
thoughts,
Oh,
concerns?
That was really close, Chris. Aggie,
Yeah.
Aggie
It's just
almost
a
got
little
that.
too far out of the way. You know?
After I got it, Aggie's like, you piece of shit.
Yeah, I was on 7, I think, when he got to
You were, yeah, and there were
Yeah.
3 right
Okay.
next to
Started
you.
it
Yeah.
so early, Chris, and he came out of and just
Yeah.
sniped 7 so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a point where it was just like, grrr, there was like 3 or 4 in a
Yeah.
row. And we
Yeah.
were like, oh shit, I actually might get it.
Yeah, it's fun to do that square. I mean, yeah, that square, it's like you leave open until it's like, okay, I could go snag this now. And like, there are some other, like the lightning pot recipe things on the way. So it's like, maybe I go do that. But yeah, after I was like into the capital, I'm like, okay, let me just do these squares that I like already have and then finish that out.
Because you guys have played each other so many times and like know each other's rapport, did you guys know that you were doing Somber and you were going to do Smithing Stones, or was it just like a
No.
complete...
Yeah, that was
That's kind of just a coin flip.
It was
yeah.
so weird how perfectly symmetrical you guys decided to do
Yeah.
your board. It was very
There was
incredible.
truly no overlap in the first 30
Yeah.
or 40 minutes.
You
Yeah.
love to see it, honestly.
Yeah.
It can be really rough if you're doing the same
Yeah.
thing, but one person's like 10 seconds faster.
So you did Radahn hitless, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you summon the boys?
I did some of those. I did a
Nice.
rock crease, and then I died, so I just summoned.
Oh,
the
okay.
Second one.
Yeah.
I mean, this was an incredibly close match, guys.
Yeah.
You should be really proud of this.
Yeah, no, this is
In,
fun.
in a live event setting, this is really impressive.
There was only 1 square left.
yeah.
Do you think that was the Draconic Tree Sentinel moment that kind of put the...
Dude, okay, so I went for a cheese first, and I only had a medium shield, which is like pretty bad for parrying, and I actually got it, and then he didn't get knocked off. So at that point, I'm like, okay, I know my damage is bad, and I know this guy is going to kick my ass, but I didn't really have a choice in the matter. So yeah, that definitely probably made a bit of a difference.
And then the situation with you, Chris, where
Yeah,
you
marking-
got your
marking
Marking a square a little bit.
I mean, we do a little cheating out here.
I love how you, Marcus, were like 20 minutes late, and then you were like, Aggie, you can't choose DTS.
Aggie, you should have done it. You should have done it.
I mean, you got to fight the boss.
That's
It's
how you catch a
cool,
dub
but
right there.
yeah.
You cheat and prevent others from cheating.
Well,
Yeah, my
GG's, I mean, do you guys have any shout outs? Like, shout yourselves out.
YouTube.com/LilAggy. He is great. And his Twitch as well. Love watching his stream. He is my most watched stream of 2023. So
Much love. And
Yes.
of course, youtube.com/star0chris. Or on
Yes.
Twitch as well. And also another additional shout out to Mr. Captain Domo.
Yes.
Of course, the head of the Bingo Brawlers League, and really put a lot of effort into this and commissioned this mod we were using today for this. So, yeah. Huge shout out to him.
yep.
Fantastic.
Well, that was awesome to watch.
Yeah.
That's the first time, like I said, you probably couldn't hear me, but I've never seen this before. So that was awesome. That was quite a
really
display.
intricate.
It's something to jump into for sure, a lot. But it's cool to. I think we got to show off a good amount of stuff, a good amount of boss and
Yeah.
stuff. No Millennia.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it.
For
Yeah.
members.
You could, I mean, you
was too.
right now.
We actually mentioned that. We were like, I wonder if they're going to do it for the flex. For the God boss, I was hoping you'd do it.
Yeah, I just didn't. I wasn't sure I could beat her in 3 minutes with my
Yeah,
physic,
yeah,
so I didn't
true.
have the stats to keep using my weapon if
Yeah.
I timed out. So I was like, it's not worth it.
Yeah,
But
totally fair. Soldier of Godrick was a close second.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
a tough fight
Tough
too.
is what we care about.
Tough.
Yeah, can we just find out about the tops? Can you do the bubble for them?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
What
Okay,
is
there is a
this?
spell.
The
Germa,
bubble.
please.
Oh, all right. The Tops, when you actually complete Tops' quest line,
Yep.
he gives you like a bum, right?
Yeah, the barrier.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like a 2 second like.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, no,
it's
you
kinda
got to
like a magic
give us the reverb,
Yeah,
Germa.
we
They're
need
not
that.
getting the full
Yeah, yeah,
experience. Come on, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh wow, it's like I'm playing the game.
Yeah.
Right?
What is the name of that sorcery? Do we know?
I believe it's Tops' barrier.
Yeah.
Oh, it's his. It's his
Yeah.
barrier. That's
Yeah,
why
it's
it's
his
his barrier.
thing, yeah.
He made it up. And I don't think I ever got it to work once.
I've never even used it, so.
Yeah.
Like most sorceries in Elden Ring, there's like 9.
Yeah.
There's not 100.
There's like 10% of them are useful, and the rest are just like, oh, that's cool. And then you put it in the backseat,
Well, that was. Thank you, both of you. That was
That was
awesome.
a fantastic.
Thank you for
run.
having
us.
Yes,
Great
congratulations.
Great
to
job,
you.
guys.
Get
And,
into Elden Ring.
We have a crowd control Celeste coming up after the break, which we're going to throw to right now.
Hope you guys are having fun.